Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from the University Center on the campus of Southeastern Louisiana University. This is Larry Heimel along with Dick Sharp bringing you tonight's ball game between the SLU Lions and the College of Charleston. And Dick, as big a ball game's been in here in probably 10 years. Tonight the Lions will go against one of the hottest teams in the nation, not just the conference, in the nation, in a College of Charleston, and a very big game for both teams' perspective.
Yes, I wouldn't think it'd be a big game for Charleston because they're so far in front in the conference, but it's a big game to them because they have aspirations of being in the big dance, the final 64 teams in this country, and a loss on their record tonight would seriously hurt their opportunities because they can't go as a result of winning the conference championship. They're not eligible. They have to win it in an at-large bid. So, real big game for them. It's obvious what it is to Southeastern because in order for us to win our division, tonight's game is just almost a must for us. So it's big for both teams, and it ought to be a great game.
Of course, Charleston comes in tonight 22-2 overall, 14-0 in attack for the year. They have played the Lions 4 times previously in previous years, won all 4 of them. This is the first meeting and the only meeting of the season between the two teams. Southeastern 14-10, already assured of a winning season, 10-4 in the conference. Of course, for the Lions, they're with College of Charleston now, the running for the conference tournament. They're in their last year of the transition period between Division II and Division I. They're eligible, if we can explain a little bit, they're eligible as an at-large team, but they're not eligible as an automatic conference entrant. They went to the NCAA tournament 2 years ago. They went to NIT last year, and now they, now this year, as you said, they have aspirations. But the Lions right now are leading the overall standings, other than Charleston, for the #1 berth in the conference tournament. And of course, there's 3 other teams still fighting for that, and that's Campbell University, which will be in here Saturday night, and then along with Sanford and Centenary, 2 foes that we're very familiar with. So one of those 4 teams is going to be the #1 seed in the overall conference tournament. Lions could enhance their chances easily by winning these 2 home ball games, and they'd be automatically the #1.
If you're not impressed with the 22-2 record that this team has coming into this ball game, what you might be impressed with the 2 teams they lost to. They've lost to Connecticut and Syracuse, and played both of those teams respectable ball games early on this year.
They play very well. As we said, Charleston 22-2, Lions 14-10, and tonight's ball game will be followed by the Lions' final home ball game Saturday night against Campbell University. While not probably quite as marquee a matchup, that game may be even more important for the Lions than this one.
Yes, it very well could be, because if we don't beat Campbell and Campbell wins tonight, regardless what we do tonight, it won't make any difference in terms of the lineup for that conference tournament. This team that we're playing tonight, I can't say enough things about them. They don't start a senior in their lineup, so they've got a lot of things going for them in terms of the future. And considering the conference tournament will be played there the next 2 years, it's going to be tough for anybody to beat this team if they continue to play like they are. They start almost an entire South Carolina lineup, too. That's interesting that they don't recruit nationally. They get most of their recruiting from South Carolina and Virginia.
Of course, and in Charleston, we'll mention one of their players, Thaddeus Delaney, one of the better players not only in the attack, but also in the South. Thaddeus Delaney, a big, strong, inside player, and he'll make his presence felt. He's averaging double figures in rebounds and scoring. He'll be a force inside the Lions we'll really have to contend with.
Well, it's interesting. This team, it's way ahead in the conference, doesn't have any of the leading scorers in the conference. Yet they have a bunch of fellas that score points, and it shows you what the value of the team play is. You don't have to have the big scores if your team plays well enough together, and they do.
And, of course, we pointed out, Dick, we were talking in our pregame talk, you know, they're shooting 49% as a team. That's a very good shooting percentage in this day and age for a team, especially now that the three-point percentage shot has come in, where teams are lowering their percentage marks overall. By taking that, they're shooting 49% of the team. The Lions, conversely, shooting 44. The Lions' opponents are shooting a little bit better than them. Charleston's opponents are shooting a lot worse than them.
Well, again, we can't seem to say enough nice things about this Charleston team. They've also got a fine gentleman as a coach. He's not only a great coach, he's a fine gentleman, and he's able to recruit real well and get the best ball players in his area to come and want to play for him. He's had the opportunity to coach other places, bigger schools, but has chosen to stay there, and it speaks well of him to know that they've named their own Coliseum after him while he's still coaching.
Of course, Dick, I think one thing it says to John Lyles and his program, here we are 2 games from the end of the regular season and talking about a contest that's very critical to the Lions and their hopes for a divisional championship and the #1 seed. I think that shows how far Southeastern basketball has come in the 2 years under John Lyles, when you can this late in the season be talking about a critical game with in conference standpoint.
Well, it is a very big game for us, and it's wonderful that we have the opportunity to go into our last 2 games, both of them meaning a great deal to this program as well as the school.
And Dick, if you got Charleston, I don't know if you scramble and find Charleston's lineup, quickly tell who they're starting, and then I'll give Southeastern's lineup.
Okay. Starting at guard from Charleston, South Carolina, Anthony Johnson, a 6'3", 190-pound junior. At the other guard, also from Charleston, South Carolina, Jermel President, a 6', 170-pound freshman. Outstanding young man. The man we've been talking about so much is playing center tonight, Thaddeus Delaney, 6'8", 250-pound junior from Columbia, South Carolina. At 1 forward, Cedric Weber, a 6'6", 185-pound freshman from Columbia, South Carolina. And at the other forward, Stacy Harris, a 6'4", 185-pound junior from Annandale, Virginia.
And of course, now they're starting to introduce the Southeastern starting lineup. The first one being introduced is number 10, Rico Grant, a junior, averaging 9 points a game. And then the freshman in the Lions lineup, number 21, Troy Green, 5'10", from White Castle. And from Gulfport, Mississippi, the Lions' leading scorer, one of the top scorers in the country, Sam Bowie, averaging 22.1 points a ball game. He'll be wearing 23 tonight. At the other starting forward is the Lions' other senior, number 25, Jason Whittingham. He's averaging 15.2 points a ball game, 10.3 rebounds. And of course, the center for the Lions is Noble Evans, 6'6", freshman, averaging 6.6 points a game. He'll wear number 50 tonight. The Lions, Noble has a big assignment going against Delaney.
No question about it. It'll be interesting to see how he handles that 6'8" junior. An interesting fact that we've been talking about Charleston's team, and John Lyles will be quick to tell you he's never coached a bunch of guys who play so well together, get along so well, and he's just real proud to be their coach, and I think they enjoy him as much as he enjoys them, and it's been a joy watching this team play all year long, and now their work has paid off for them. They're coming down here to 2 great basketball games to close out their own season.
Officials for tonight's ball game are Phil Robinson, Leon Wood, and Mike Thibodeau. And quickly, we remind you that tonight's ball game is being brought to you by the Khaki Cabana, Dixie Mazda, Nissan, Lincoln Mercury of Hammond, the law firm of Cash, Lewis, Moody, and Coudrain, and Amy Cinema. We'll give you a little bit more about each of those businesses as the game proceeds. This will be Thaddeus Delaney going against Jason Whittingham to tip off tonight's ball game, and Charleston controls the opening tip. Out front, that's Johnson with the basketball. They try to get it inside Delaney. He puts a shot up, and he's going to be fouled. Going to get 2 shots. He was sandwiched between Whittingham and Evans, and they're going to call the foul on Noble Evans.
Well, that's what we talked about. Noble's going to have his hands full, trying to collapse there on Thaddeus. You can see right away they're trying to collapse 2 men to try to put one in front and back of him to try to keep him from getting the ball, but it's going to be a tough assignment for both of them. He's just big and physical.
Delaney makes the first one. Averaging 14.8 points a ball game, and he makes both free throws. Just a 57% free throw shooter. Lions will inbound the basketball. Charleston leads 2-0. That's Troy Green with the basketball out front. Green, top of the key to Evans. He puts up a shot. No good. Rebounded by Harris. Charleston quickly with the basketball. Harris, left side to President. He puts up a 16-footer. It's good. 4-0 lead for the Cougars. Lions come down. This is Whittingham to Grant on the right side. Rico Grant drives in the lane, loses the ball, but tips it out to Bowie. He'll put up the 3-pointer. It is no good, but Evans gets the rebound. Evans back outside. Green launches the 3-pointer. It's no good. And Charleston with the rebound. Quick outlet pass. President pulls up, shoots from 14. It's good. 6-0 lead for the Cougars. President, one of the freshmen in this lineup. Charleston starts 2. The Lions start 1. Now Troy Green. Right side to Rico Grant. Rico Grant dribbling, drives the baseline, puts a shot up off the glass. Good. Grant registers the Lions' first total. They just went one-on-one for him. And he beat his man. Rico can beat a lot of guys one-on-one. This is Johnson with the basketball. He is dogged by Troy Green. Johnson drives, pulls up, shoots from the free throw line. It's good. Charleston hasn't missed yet. And it's 8-2.
Lions look a little bit tight yet.
That's the first big game they played. And Dick, you expect a little bit. Just going to take a shot or two to get them going and get them in there. There's a pass into Evans outside to Grant. He puts up the three-pointer. It's good. No, they only give him 2. He said it's 2, and it's 8-4. Now long inlet pass to Harris. Harris going to go all the way down and makes the basket. 10-4. Grant back quickly on the right side. Charleston 4 for 4 from the field to start the ball game. And Southeastern will call a 20-second timeout. John Lyles questioning that shot by Rico Grant, wanting to know why it wasn't a three-pointer, but the official closest to the shot, Dick, said his foot was on the line.
John Lyles not happy with that call at all. It was hard to tell from here whether he was on the three-point line or not.
Again, the official right on the spot is the one that made the call, and that's the one that's supposed to make it. So you have to give him credit. He's 5 feet away. Right now, it's a 10-4 ball game. Reminder that tonight's ball game being brought to you by the Amy Cinema, the law firm of Cash, Lewis, Moody, and Coudrain, Dixie, Mazda, Nissan, Lincoln Mercury, Dixie Motors in Hammond, and the Khaki Cabana. Now the Lions will inbound the basketball, trailing 10-4 in the first couple of minutes of play. This is Sam Bowie to Grant, into Evans, to Bowie, driving the lane, scoops the shot, puts it up, and good.
That's the kind of teamwork the Lions are going to need tonight. They can't come down and shoot these one-on-one plays all night. They made 3 nice passes there and got to the good resulting layup.
And that foul was on Weber. Lions just set that up. They fed Evans, and he just hit the cutter driving down the lane. Bowie misses his, but Whittingham gets the rebound. Out to Grant. Grant back to right to Whittingham. 3-pointers up. It is no good. And rebounded in there by Weber. 10-6 ball game. Right side, President pulls up, shoots from 8. Good. Carmel President with 6 points early in the ball game. Out front to Evans. Left side to Bowie. Bowie drives, cut off. Grant with the basketball. Baseline pass kicked off by Johnson. Outlet pass down to Harris. He puts the shot up, and it's good. And Charleston leads 14-6 and has not missed a shot yet. 14-6, a little over 3 minutes gone in the ball game. But the Lions' credit, they're still hanging right here, and now they go to a 3-man weave outside, which they like to do to set up somebody one-on-one. Grant tries to drive, and he's going to be fouled as he tries to penetrate the lane. And Stacey Harris did a little hand-checking job.
I don't want to take anything away from Charleston on the fact that they've made all their shots, but they've had very easy shots to make. We have not played real good defense thus far.
Southeastern will inbound the basketball under their own goal, outside to Whittingham. That's Rico Grant, top of the key. Back to Green. Green puts up the three-pointer. It is in and out, no good, and rebounded by Harris.
Rico needs, Troy needs 5 3-pointers, and he will set the attack conference record for 3-pointers in one season.
Inlet pass inside, shots put up off the glass, good by Weber. And it's 16-6. Now Grant down quickly on the right side. Drives in the lane, pulls up, passes off the hands of Noble Evans. It'll be Charleston basketball. Grant had the right idea. The pass is a little bit too hard, that close to Evans.
Southeastern hasn't gotten their offense going except for that one time down court that they passed the ball real well and got the bucket out of it.
16-6 lead for Charleston. They'll bring the ball up the court. This is Johnson. He's got Troy Green on him. He's got a decided height advantage to ever try to do some matchups. Johnson drives around 2 guys, passes it back outside to Harris. Puts up a 3-pointer, no good. Green with the outlet pass to Rico Grant. He pulls it up, puts a shot off the glass, no good. And I think they got to call Whittingham for coming in over the back. as Rico Grant missed that layup, as Troy Green made a nice outlet pass.
His first team ball number 2 on the Lions.
Now Bowie comes back in to replace Grant. John Lyles giving most of his starters just a quick breather right now. There's a long outlet pass to Weber. Can't save it inbound. He does save it inbound. Saves it to Delaney. It's tipped away, picked up by Grant. Excuse me, Green. Green puts up a three-pointer way short. Now back out to Harris. Down the left side, shoots, runs in, and they'll call an offensive foul as Jason Whittingham did a nice job.
Personal foul number 21, Stacey Harris, his second team foul number 3 on the Cougars.
Southeastern needs to settle down a little bit now.
Number 33, Mark Hines.
And of course, that's the second foul on Harris, so Mark Hines will come in to replace him. Troy Green out front to Bowie. Bowie back to Whittingham. Whittingham has the ball slapped away, but Bowie picks it up, shoots top of the key. Three-pointer good. Bowie has 5. The Lions trail 16-9. Pass into Johnson. Johnson drives right side. In the lane to Himes. Himes misses the shot. Delaney's there for the rebound and multiples it back in. Delaney makes it 18-9. Bowie drives the baseline, has the ball kicked away from him, and it bounced off his foot and out of bounds.
That's the third Lion turnover already early in this ball game.
Also into the game for the Cougars, number 42, Robbie Connor.
And we have a timeout on the court. 14:42 to go. Charleston leads 18-9. We'll remind you, tonight's ball game is brought to you by the Khaki Cabana, a popular eating place at 404 West Columbus Drive in Hammond. It has a special on the days of SLU basketball games. On these days, from 2 p.m. till closing time, with each order of a sandwich and drink, you get free fries. That's on SLU basketball game days. From 2 p.m. till closing time, you get free fries with any sandwich and drink order at the Khaki Cabana. Also, Dixie Mazda Nissan Lincoln Mercury of Hammond is a #1 new car sales leader in Hammond. At Dixie, our customers have purchased over 100 cars each month for the last 10 months. With over $3 million in RV inventory and over $2 million in used and program car inventory, Dixie Motors has an exceptional array of vehicles for you to choose from to meet your needs. And this part of the game is also brought to you by the law firm of Cash, Lewis, Moody, and Coudrain, the law attorneys Rodney Cash, Alton Lewis, Chris Moody, Andre Coudrain, with offices at 106 South Magnolia Street in Hammond, 542-6848, and the A-Meek Cinema. Going from February the 16th through the February 22nd, City Hall, Black Sheep, De Jure, and Sense and Sensibility.
Well, let's see if Coach Lyle's talk will settle them down a little bit and we can get our offense into sync here.
Out of the timeout, Cougar basketball.
Charleston will inbound the basketball. Line pressure, Jason Kay has come in the ball game now, replacing Whittingham. Another new player, Connor's in for Charleston. Baseline to Delaney. Delaney puts a shot up, partially blocked, no good. Shot put back up by Connor, and finally rebounded by Jason Kay, and the Cougars prove they're human after all as they miss shots. Bowie launched a long three-pointer. It's good! That wasn't NBA range. That might have been all-world range. But quickly, out they pass to Himes. He puts a shot up. It's good.
Lions had trouble getting back there.
Troy Green with the basketball, and I think they're going to call a hand check as he tried to penetrate, and Jermel President is going to get called for a foul. And the Lions will inbound the basketball, 20-12. He played 6 minutes in the ball game. And Whittingham back in for the Lions.
Jason Whittingham checking in for the Cougars.
We're being out-rebounded so far by them by 6-3.
Lions inbound it to Grant. He'll set the offense. So Grant out front with the basketball. Whittingham, left side. Drives the lane, back outside to Grant. Grant pulls up, shoots the three. No good. Delaney muscles his way for that rebound. He just held off Jason Kay with one hand and went and got the rebound with the other one.
He's a big, strong boy. Hard to look at a fellow that size and call him a boy, but in terms of age, he's just a junior in college.
Charleston works the ball. This is also McCravey. McCravey is in the ball game. Johnson launches a shot. No good. Rebounded by Sam Bowie. Bowie drives by one player. Back out to Grant. Grant chasing Kay. Back outside. Whittingham, and they're going to call a foul. I believe they're going to call it on Bowie. I believe he and Johnson were locked up, and they caught the retaliation after Johnson just kept holding and holding, and Sam gave him a push off back, and that's what they called.
Yeah. That could have gone either way. It could have been called on either man. They were both doing a lot of pushing in there. Fans may not know this, or may by the time they see this on television, but Sam's been invited to participate in the slam dunk contest held at the Final Four this year.
Driving in the lane with Johnson, he missed a shot, but Charleston got some muscle inside. Hey, really physical inside. Shots put up, nothing called as Bowie crams into somebody. McCorvey after his shot. And now Troy Green pulls up, shoots from three, and it's good. Troy Green, Lions trail 20-15.
They can't, if they let Troy get open out there for those kind of shots, he's not going to miss many of them, nor is Sam.
Lions have climbed back within 5. Cougars starting to miss a few shots now. The Lions trying to capitalize. This is Bowie on McCravey.
Well, one of the reasons they're missing is they're having to take a little more difficult shots than they were earlier.
Drive inside, ball tipped around. As Rico Grant, he's got Whittingham, pass to Whittingham, drives all the way and puts the layup up and in. Good feed from Rico Grant on the play. The Lions have cut it back with 20-17, and the crowd roars with approval here.
Nice teamwork that they're doing out there right now. Going back to that thing on Sam, for those of you who didn't know Sam hadn't seen them this year, you wouldn't know that Sam was quite a dunker, but he really is, and his teammates are delighted for him and cheered when they heard he got invited. There's only 8 college players in the country invited to participate in that contest, and Sam's one of them. And it's a real honor for him and for the school.
Well, anybody seen any of Sam's dunks this year knows that he'll be able to compete with them in that type of a contest. I noticed one thing on that fast break. That time Rico Grant went back to the basics. 9 times out of 10 this year, when he's come down that time, he's tried to lob that pass for the spectacular slam dunk to Sam or Jason. This time, he went for what he thought was a sure bucket and got it.
Yeah, I'm not sure he'd have done that if he'd have seen Sam coming down there, however, because he likes to let Sam shoot that dunk.
In the lane, drive, shots put up, but before it's put up, foul violations called on Weber.
This game's taking a flip-flop here now. Now Charleston looks like the ones that are not in sync, and Southeastern looks like they are.
Well, they missed a few shots, and Lions playing a little bit better defense and starting to make a little bit more contact on defense. Noble Evans to Grant. Grant tries to drive the lane, passes to Anderson, who's in the ball game underneath. The shot goes up and in. The foul's going to be called. Nice pass from Rico Grant, and nice acrobatic move by Anderson.
Lions are playing well right now. They're moving that ball around, getting the open shot. Avery Anderson's our leading free throw shooter.
McCravey got the foul his first. Anderson goes to the line with a chance to tie the ball game with 11:34 to go in the first half of play.
Avery's a 79% free throw shooter. Almost inevitably, when we say that, we put the jinx on him.
And they're going to call a foul on Charleston on the rebound, and that's going to go on Rodney Connor. The Lions will inbound the basketball, so they get a chance to take the lead even though they missed the free throw. Here comes Delaney back in, and Connor's out. I know Charleston plays about 7, 8, or 9 players also, just like the Lions. Inbound pass to Grant, way outside. Anderson on the baseline. We'll back it out to Evans, top of the key. Evans pulls up, going to shoot from the free throw line. It is no good. Rebounded by McCravey. Charleston up quickly, right side. Weber drives the lane, shot no good. Noble Evans with the rebound. Anderson comes up for the Lions on the attack and take the lead again for the first time. Grant drives in, puts a shot up, good! He went right between 2 defenders and went right up over Thaddeus Delaney. Lions lead 21-20.
The most vocal crowd we've had here all year, I believe.
is Anderson on McCravey. Lions getting ready to send refreshments back in. It's outside Delaney to Johnson. Johnson goes right by Bowie, banks it off the glass. Good. And Charleston regains the lead, 22-21. Rico Grant right side. Got high hip-hop dribble. Now back outside. Whittingham to Anderson. Anderson drives. Now looking for somebody. Gets a nice pass into Oval Evans. Over to Grant. He'll launch a three-pointer. It is no good. And rebounded by Weber. Fans thought he stepped out of bounds, so he passed it back inbounds, but they're not with the striped shirt. Down to the free throw line. Shots put up by Weber, and he makes Whaler on the play. Made the bucket, 24-21.
They gave him too easy a shot there.
John Lyles signal on play, 24-21. Lions work the offense. 9:47 to go in the first half of play. Whittingham drives around one player. Now gives it to Anderson. He drives the lane, tries to pass to Bowie, tipped away but saved by Whittingham. Back out to Anderson. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Anderson working one-on-one out front. He's going to drive the lane, pulls up, shoots. It is good. Avery Anderson comes in, makes a bucket, 24-23.
The Lions showed good patience there and working for that shot.
This is Johnson with the basketball. The Hives back to Johnson. Johnson out front. Lions have got too many men on Johnson. He bumps into Anderson. They're going to call a foul, I believe, on Avery Anderson.
Personal foul number 15, Avery Anderson. His first team foul number 4.
College of Charleston is trying to do what most teams try to do in covering Sam Bowie. They just try to blanket him where he can't get the ball, and that usually works for a while, but Sam will get his points for the night, though.
And it's a reminder on this timeout, tonight's ball game being brought to you by the A-Meat Cinema, February 23rd to 29th. Right now showing City Hall Black Sheep, the Juror, and Sense and Sensibility. Also brought to you by the law firm of Cash, Lewis, Moody, and Coudrain. Attorneys Rodney Cash, Alton Lewis, Chris Moody, Andre Coudrain. Also, 60 miles Nissan Lincoln Mercury, still the home of no rigmarole. Drop in soon at Dixie Motors in Hammond at the corner of North Marston Boulevard and Church Street, and the Khaki Cabana located on West Columbus Drive, just down the road from the University Center. Remember, on game days, you get free fries with any order of sandwich and a drink at the Khaki Cabana on Columbus Drive.
Well, this game promised to be just like it's going. It's got lots of action. Both teams like to run. Both teams showing a lot of offense. It's going to go this way, I predict, the whole ball game, Larry.
And during that timeout, we also got a little taste of what's coming on at halftime as the Bud Light Daredevils gave their sample of action to come. They always put on a very entertaining and exciting show.
Maybe Sam will pick up a few ideas for the dunk contest from these fellas.
Charleston inbounds the basketball as play resumes. That's Harris out front with the basketball. To Johnson. To the cutting. Flash shot, no good. Delaney with the rebound. Puts the shot up over Evans. It's good. Delaney has 6 points and a couple rebounds. Quickly down the floor. Troy Green has the ball knocked away from him. He puts the shot up and in.
Nice recovery on the part of Troy there.
26-25. Almost got caught in no man's land. Just decided to put a shot up and it went in. That's the president with the basketball. He hasn't been in for a while. He started off real strong. Pass is overthrown. Rico Grant with the basketball. Grant drives the lane. He's run into, and a foul is going to be called. It should send Rico to the free throw line for 1-1, and that foul was on President. That's his second.
Foul number 20, Jamel President, his second team foul number 7 on the Cougars. The Lions are in the box.
Lions shooting 50% now. Unfortunately, College of Charleston shooting 58%.
That 58% came after they hit, their first 4 or 5 shots of the ball game, Dick, so they've cooled off and been something like 6 for 14 since then. Of course, they all count, whether in the first minute or the last minute, right?
Right.
Grant makes the first free throw. Rico on the season shooting 70%. Oh, he had some clutch ones against Georgia State to ice that ball game here at home.
He hit some against Samford, too, in our game here.
And Grant gets another one. 8 points for Rico in the ball game. The Lions full ahead, 27-26. Now Charleston will inbound the basketball. Charles and Jason Kay check in. This is McCarvey. He has Troy Green on him. That's President on the left side. Out to Delaney. Driving is Harris. Put the shot up. Blocked twice. Finally on the floor. Picked up, and they're going to call a holding foul, I think, on Glenn Charles. Good defense by the Lions, and I think that, however, they finally wound up with the foul when the ball was on the floor.
You'll notice when Charleston passes the ball to Delaney out in the front, the Lions just back off. They do not have the feeling that he can beat them from the outside, and as you can see, he doesn't have the feeling he can either because he won't shoot from out there.
McCarvey with inbound pass to Harris, who just takes it and lays it off the glass. A nice inbound play. They lead 28-27. Bowie's going to drive the lane, pull up, shoots from 8. It's good. Sam Bowie with 10 in the ball game. Lions lead 29-28. The conference is one of the leading scorers in the conference. Has already got 10 in the first half. 7:39 to go. This is President with the basketball. Over to McCarvey. McCarvey shoots a 3. It is no good. Rebounded by Harris. Back out to McCarvey. Right side President puts a shot up off the glass. Good.
Somebody relaxed under that goal. Nobody even tried for that rebound for Southeastern.
Now Troy Green launches a long three-pointer. No good. Jason Kay underneath. The ball is knocked out of bounds by the Cougars. Good position by Jason Kay. And the Lions trailing 30-29. Will inbound the basketball. Charleston with a couple substitutes. Jamel President with 8 points in the ball game. They inbound it to Bowie. Outside to Whittingham to Kay. He'll shoot from the free throw line. It is no good, but rebounded by Charles, and I think they're going to say he pushed off. Glenn Charles has picked up 2 quick fouls in there, and it'll be Charleston basketball.
We need a good effort from Glenn tonight as this game goes on, and if we're going to be in it at the end.
It must have been very obvious because there's been a lot of bumping underneath the goal already to have something like that called. Cougars inbound the basketball. Lions double team in the back court. They finally get it to Connor. Connor will dribble all the way up, pass to Delaney, back to Connor, puts the shot up, no good. Ball is tipped out of bounds, and they say it last went off Whittingham.
Well, that was a good call.
This will be Johnson to inbound the basketball. Delaney is number 4. Harris is 21 and President is 20. And those have been the key guys for him so far. That's Connor, drives the baseline, puts the shot up good. Connor gives them a 32-29 lead. Troy Green comes down, launches a long three-pointer. Tie the ball game. 8 points for Green. It's 32-32. Mercy. 6.5 minutes to go in the first half. A little bit higher scoring pace than you might have thought with these 2 ball clubs. Of course, the Lions ranked in the top 20 in the nation, or top 10 in the nation in scoring. That's Johnson. He gets it into Delaney, and he puts up the shot. 8 points for Delaney, and they lead. The Cougars lead by 2.
He's awfully strong under there. We just haven't been able to even think about out-muscling him under there.
Nobles tried to hit Rico Grant going one way. Grant went the other, and the ball went out of bounds. That'll be Charleston basketball. This is Johnson with the basketball. Met by Troy Green out front. Johnson with a pass knocked away by Whittingham. Gets it over to Rico Grant. Rico to Noble Evans. He He fakes Delaney, puts a shot up, and he's going to draw the foul from Delaney. Good move inside by the freshman on the more experienced Delaney, but he just took it right to him.
One of the highlights of this year has been, to me, has been watching the development of Noble Evans from game to game and the maturity he's developed in all phases of the game.
Of course, that's what we pointed out in several of the earlier broadcasts. That's what you look for in your freshmen. If they continue to improve as the season goes along, not that they're going to be an instant All-American, but if they can continue to improve for you, you're there. Now Noble Evans will step to the free throw line to shoot 2. Makes the first one, 34-33. Evans shooting 50% for the season from the free throw line.
That's an area that Noble's been a little weak on thus far this year, but he looks like he's getting better each week. He's got a good stroke.
Hit both of them, and it's 34-34, 5:46 to go. Inbound it to Connor. Connor gets it off to Hines, who's in the ball game now.
Oh,
he turned. He didn't go
over across.
Both feet didn't go across the midcourt line, though. And they're going to call a technical on John Lyles, who was romping and stomping on the sideline. John was bargaining for a walking call more than he was to back and over his back. They're going to call a technical. I give Charleston 2 shots in the basketball in a 34-34 ball game.
We're sitting right here on the midcourt line. If that wasn't over and across, over and back, I've never seen it.
Nick, I think the rule now is you got to have both feet across midcourt. Boy, you can take one foot and go back. It used to be you just any part of you went across. I think John's call was more that he walked more than backcourt. I saw him giving a traveling motion on the sideline over there. I think he thought that got Hines walk. President misses one of them. It will be Cougar basketball. They lead 35-34, 5:36 to go. Cougars inbound it to Johnson. He's got Anderson working on him. Left side to Hines. That's Connor. Try to look inside. Back out to Hines. Hines, Connor, Johnson. Johnson to Connor. Connor to Hines. There's a pass in the lane. Another pass off, and it's picked off by the Lions. Sam Bowie brings it down, gets it back out to Anderson. The Lions can retake the lead with a bucket here. Avery Anderson out front with the basketball. Goes to Bowie. Bowie drives, shoots from the top of the key, way short, but rebounded by Evans. No good. Rebounded in there, and it's going to be picked up by the Cougars. 3-on-1. There's a pass knocked away by Avery Anderson. A great defensive play. Back down for the Lions. The pass to Evans. Puts the shot up off the glass. Good. And I think the foul's going to be on Delaney.
Beautiful work by the Lions there. That's what everybody likes to see. Coach Lyles has got to be real happy with what he just saw there. Great defensive play on one end. Great offensive teamwork on the other end.
Now look at Noble Evans makes the bucket. The Lions lead 36-35, and that's the second foul on Delaney with 4.5 minutes to go here in the first half.
After a slow start, the Lions have come out really stroking here and looked like the kind of team that they were looking like a week or so ago before they went on that road trip.
And Evans drops it in. 5 points for Noble Evans. The Lions lead by 2. Quickly down over the basketball. Johnson pulls it up, and the Cougars will reset their offense. That's out front to Hines. Quick pass through the hands of Connors and out of bounds, and Southeastern will reclaim the basketball.
Those things just don't happen. That's the result of good defense, pressure defense, which is the Lions' trademark.
Now Anderson will slowly walk it up, and the Lions will set their offense. Rico Grant outside to Glenn Charles. Back out to Anderson. Looks like Charleston now going to zone defense. The Lions will quickly get the shooters back in the ball game. Grant tries to pass. It's tipped, but recovered by Evans. Back over to Rico Grant. He turns, puts up the three-point shot, no good. Rebounded on the floor by Anderson. Good scrap out there by Avery Anderson.
Another good effort on Anderson's part.
He's come in and give some life to the Lions off the bench. Anderson drives by one guy, and a foul is going to be called on Anthony Johnson, his first, and it's going to send Anderson to the free throw line for 1-1.
Personal foul number 24, Anthony Johnson, his first, team foul number 10 on the Cougars.
Lions break back in, Bowie.
Lions are in the double penalty situation now. They're going to get 2 free throws every foul.
Number 23, Sam Bowie.
SOU leading by 2, 37-35.
For the Cougars, number 23, Cedric Weber. The Lions are in the double bonus, and the Lions shooting 2.
So Anderson will shoot 2 free throws. He's missed his only attempt from the line thus far in the ball game. Makes the first one, 3-point SOU lead. And that one trickles through. And Troy Green replaces Anderson, who leads with 6 points. SOU with his biggest lead of the ball game, 4 points. Remember, they trailed by 10 at one point early in the game.
Playing outstandingly on both ends of the court right now.
With Johnson double teamed in the backcourt. Gets it over to McCravey. McCravey will pull up, pass on the baseline. Shot laid up and in easily by Weber. Weber with 6 points. Balanced scoring, though, for the Cougars once again. Troy Green turns, shot from the top of the key. No good. Gets his own rebound. Tries to pass it inbounds, and it'll be Southeastern basketball. He tried to get it underneath there to Whittingham.
Troy knew he'd missed that shot when he fired it and immediately went in to try to get his own rebound.
And did a good job following his missed shot. As a result, the Lions will have the basketball with a chance to build that 2-point lead. Charles to Kay. This is Jason Whittingham outside with the basketball. Pulls up, passes it back out to Green. Green. Ball's passed to Bowie. He loses it. He's bumped from behind. He has the basketball. They're going to call a jump ball. It'll be Southeastern basketball on alternating possession. And Sam Bowie tripped coming out of the crowd to get the basketball and never could recover, and did a pretty good job just holding on to the basketball.
Yeah, they got themselves in a little bit of trouble out there in terms of coverage on them and not having a free man to pass to, and Sam came running out there, stumbled, and got in trouble.
Lobbing for a new shot clock. We're down to 16 seconds and Southeastern will inbound the basketball. They get it into Whittingham. Jason's been pretty quiet in the ball game thus far. Rico Grant. Out to Whittingham. Puts up a long shot. No good. Rebounded by Jason Kay. Back out to Rico Grant. And the Lions hustle to save that basketball. A couple good hustles on the offensive end of the court.
They waited a little too long to get their shot. They had to trying to get the ball to Sam and couldn't do it, and then ended up in trouble getting the shot off.
Lions with their outside weave. It looks like there's a pass in to Jason Whittingham. They say he stepped on the end line. Nice dish and feed. Whittingham was there, but he took that one little extra giant step, and when he did, he stepped back on the end line. It'll be Cougar basketball, and Troy Green turned his ankle out there somewhere. And as you know, we saw a game 2 weeks ago where he hurt it against Mercer and has not been at full speed since. And he takes a rest on the bench. To McCarvey. McCarvey loses the ball to Anderson. Anderson down. Passes to Bowie. Bowie goes up underneath, has a shot blocked, comes back, and dunks it. Sam Bowie gives the Lions a 41-37 lead. He missed his first shot as it's partially blocked, but then, much to his credit, Dick, he just went right back up and jammed it home.
Sam never quits. He never quits.
Cougars inbound the basketball. This is Johnson. Double teamed in the backcourt with the basketball. Over to McCarvey.
Sam loves the competitive aspect of this game more than anything. You get him in a competitive situation, he's going to give it everything he's got.
Lions lead by 4. This is Hines driving. Almost lose the ball. Turnaround shot put up by Weber. No good. Tipped up. No good. Rebound underneath and put up and in by Connor. As the Cougars that time hustled on the offensive boards and got the second and third shot.
Yeah, that was That was not anything but just good effort on their part. Our fellas were trying too. They just out-leaped us.
Connor gets his second bucket. It's 41-39 with 1:46 to go in the first half. And Connor will step to the free throw line to shoot one. No good. Noble Evans snatches the rebound. Quick outlet pass to Grant. Grant bumps into a player. Cougars with the basketball, 3-on-1 fast break. Shot played up and in by Weber, and quickly they've tied it at 41 all.
That was a tough one for them not to call a foul on. I'm not quite sure just what they should have called, but something.
A lot of times they'll let contact like that go, except when lost possession occurs, and that time possession was lost. Avery Anderson with the basketball, drives the lane, puts a left-handed shot up and in. What a move by Avery Anderson. He has 8, his 43-41 line.
Avery's playing the best ball game he's played all year this first half.
And a great time because the Lions look like they can be without Troy Green for a little bit. A minute left in the first half, the Lions lead by 2. This is Johnson with the basketball. Lob to the inside, and I think they're going to call Connor for pushing off. Good front by Noble Evans, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Noble's another one having one of his best games of the year tonight, which is perfect time to do it.
Connor gets his second foul. Cougars have 3 starters and 1 sub with 2 fouls in the first half. The Lions have 2 subs with 2 fouls. And this will be Noble Evans going to the free throw line. Another guy that has played a fine first half of basketball.
Noble Evans shooting 2.
Noble's only been a 51% free throw shooter, but he's got a good stroke going tonight.
Makes this one.
He has good form. When he uses that form, he makes most of it.
44-41 in the ball game. 50 seconds in the first half left. Get a chance to watching this. Don't leave the set because you're going to see the Bud Light Daredevils at the half. Noble finally misses. Lions lead by 3. Charleston has 41 seconds to go. The differential in the shot clock, so Lions should get the ball back for one final shot. This is Himes on the wings, and Johnson drives the right side. Double team, gets the pass back in. Weber turns around, has the shot partially blocked, and the ball is tipped out of bounds, trying to save the rebound by McCravy.
And the Lions will get the last shot here.
You know the Lions want to just sit it down and wait till the last 2 or 3 seconds, not give Charleston anything else, and make sure they get the shot and go in with nothing less than a 3-point lead. Troy Green setting the offense. Shot clock is off, counting down to 19 seconds and less now.
I would imagine either Troy or Sam will try to get the shot off.
Troy drives the line to Bowie. Bowie puts up a 3-pointer. It's good! Seconds to go. Long throw before the buzzer goes off at the half. And at the half, it's Southeastern 47, Charleston 41. Sam Bowie hit the 3. Dick?
Lions haven't played a better first half all year long. They're just playing super. They're playing like they're capable of playing, but they're playing super. And I'm sure Coach Lyles is real pleased with the effort on the part of everybody. Charleston's not playing a bad ball game, and normally I would suspect they're playing the way they are, they'd be ahead of people at this stage of the ball game.
Dick, we'll take a quick look at the point totals here in the first half. For Charleston, Delaney had 8 points, but just as importantly, he picked up 2 fouls in the first half. Jermel President had 9 points. Stacey Harris had 6 points. Cedric Weber had 8 points. Anthony Johnson had 4. Mark Himes had 2, and Rodney Connor had 4. Again, your balanced scoring for the Cougars in the ballgame. They've probably gotten what they wanted as far as balanced scoring. And then Southeastern Lions, led by Sam Bowie with 15 points. Avery Anderson came off the bench with an excellent first half, 8 points. Troy Green had 8 points, so basically the Lions got 16 points out of that point guard position. 6 points from Rico Grant, 6 from Noble Evans, only 2 from Jason Whittingham, so you got to hope that he's going to wake up in the second half. Not wake up, but I mean just get more involved and give some offensive spark for the Lions.
Yeah, he hasn't really had a chance to shoot the ball. based on sometimes that zone is awful hard to get it in there, but they haven't needed him so far. We'll probably need him in the second half.
And right now we're getting ready to watch the Bud Light Daredevils. And as we do that, we want to remind you that Saturday night the Lions will be at home to host Campbell University. If you're watching this ball game before Saturday night, make plans to come out because that's going to be a very important ball game for the Lions. They can either, with a win tonight or Saturday night, they will clinch at least a tie for the divisional title. If they win tonight and then win Saturday night, they will win the Western Division title and claim a share, the #1 seed in the conference tournament. Reminder that this ball game tonight is brought to you by the Khaki Cabana on West Columbus Drive. You always get the best freshly prepared food, whether it's an appetizer, soup, salad, any variety of sandwiches or combos, all freshly prepared for your satisfaction. Also, you can enjoy delicious spare rib baskets or catfish plates at the Khaki Cabana, located at 404 West Columbus Drive in Hammond, just down the street from the University Center. Drop in today. You're always welcome at the Khaki Cabana. And don't forget their SLU basketball game day special. Game also brought to you by Dixie Mazda, Nissan, Lincoln Mercury of Hammond. Is now the #1 new car sales leader in Hammond. At Dixie, our customers have purchased over 100 cars each month for the last 10 months. With over $3 million in RV inventory and over $2 million in used and program car inventory, Dixie Motors has an exceptional array of vehicles for you to choose from to meet your needs. Remember, Dixie Mazda, Nissan, Lincoln Mercury is still the home of no rigmarole. Drop in soon at Dixie Motors in Hammond at the corner of North Martha Boulevard and Church Street. Tonight's game being brought to you by the law firm of Cash, Lewis, Moody, and Coudrain. Law attorneys Rodney Cash, Thompson Lewis, Chris Moody, and Andre Coudrain, with offices at 106 South Magnolia in Hammond, 542-6848. Southeastern boosters from the word go. Also brought to you by the A-Meet Cinema, showing from February 23rd to the 29th. We have City Hall with Al Pacino and John Cusack, Black Sheep, Chris Farley and David Spade, The Juror, Jimmy Moore and Alec Baldwin, Sense and Sensibility with Emma Thompson and Alan Rickman. And as we get ready to talk a little bit with Dr. Randy Moffitt, I don't know if we can concentrate on talking. Well, you want to watch the halftime like as the Bud Light Daredevils. But Randy, let's talk a little bit about, we talked last time you were on the ball game a lot about academics and where Southeastern's going. Let's talk a little bit about athletics and the tone that the administration is going to have for athletics in the next couple of years, where y'all feel the athletic program is now, and maybe where we're heading with athletics at Southeastern.
Well, Larry, I think tonight's a perfect example of where we think we are and where we want to go to the next level. There's more excitement in this arena tonight than I've seen in years, and it's not just from the Bud Light entertainer, just from the basketball team that we have on the floor representing Southeastern. We see athletics being an integral part of the university. We're here, first of all, to educate young people, but athletics provide an outlet for people, a place to vent their excitement and their emotion. It gives us a lot of high profile. Look at the press that we've had in the Baton Rouge paper in just the last few weeks. So athletics are an integral part of where we are and where we want to go, especially in terms of public relations.
And Randy, let's talk a little bit. We talked a lot about the academic facilities and the growth going on there. The athletic facilities at Southeastern have grown leaps and bounds. First of all, already we have one of the nicest places to play basketball in the South, much less anywhere else. And then we start talking about some of the other facilities. You might want to talk about the track, the baseball field, you know, the new park, North Park. You might want to elaborate more on some of those.
Well, of course, you mentioned already the University Center. I don't think there's a better basketball arena in the state and perhaps in the South. There's not a bad seat in here, yet you're close enough to the game to enjoy it. And then look at our new baseball field, the alumni field. It's second to none in terms of the image it presents for us. And of course, you know we're going to have an outstanding baseball team. I believe they're 3 or 4-0 at this point, and off to a great start. And then last year, we were able to get our track updated and resurface it. I don't think many people know, but the surface that we have on our track at Strawberry Stadium was put in by the same company and is the same material that went into the Tad Gormley Stadium where they held the Olympic trials in New Orleans. And then, of course, the North Oaks Recreation Park, which was a joint project between us and the city, provides an outlet for us in terms of softball and soccer right now, and it also provides a means for the city softball program for young people.
And of course, you know, you got to be pleased with the success. You got 2 basketball programs going on right now. Both of them are on the winning side of the ledger. Both of them are heading towards high seeds in the conference tournament. That alone right there makes you happy. And then, of course, spring sports, as you said, some of them already off to a good start. Baseball off to a good start. Softball is expected to have a real good season. Track program under Countess Commodore. By the way, Southeastern has the only female track coach for a men's program in the state, but a lady of very high quality and will do a great job.
Well, you're right about both the quality of our programs and some of the things that we've done. And I think that's a tribute to Tom Duple and his staff in the athletic department. As an example, with our track program, to step out and hire a first-class lady to coach the men's track team is rather innovative. And yet we've got an individual there that can take us to the next level. And then look at our basketball programs. Last year we brought in John Lyles. He came within a shot of playing for the championship. This year he's playing for the #1 seed. And then Frank Snyder's lady team, I believe, are fighting for the 3rd seed in the tournament. They've got like a 7-6 record. And we're going to host that ladies tournament here, I believe, March 8 and 9, if I remember correctly.
3 days. That's Friday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Those 3 days will be a tournament that second week in March.
And that's good basketball. It's the same caliber you see here with the men's team tonight. And, of course, we encourage the people to come out. It's another means to support the university.
And, of course, we talked, Dick and I talked, here we are 2 games from the end of the season, and we're talking about a critical game for the Southeastern Lions. You know, that's the first time in 10 years we've been able to get this late in the season and say the Lions are fighting. And I think that we were talking about where College of Charleston has come in its 5 years in Division I, and we're talking where we've come in 2 years under John Lyles and since he's taken over. It's great to be able to even just say that here we are playing for the #1 seed, even though Charleston's not involved in it. But you get to the point where your last 2 home ball games are games that's going to make a difference of whether you're #1 seed in the tournament and whether you win your Western Division or not.
Well, you're absolutely right. And this College of Charleston has only been beaten twice. I believe Connecticut beat them and another team in the top 10. So here we are leading them at halftime. That means that we're able to play at a level that we haven't played in many years. And you asked earlier, where does athletics fit in? Well, I think at this university, our #1 priority is to be the very best at everything we do. Our academic programs, our accreditation status, and now we're bringing our men and women's athletic program to that same level. And we really need the people of the Hammond area, not just in Hammond, but the North Shore, to come out and be a part of this success at Southeastern.
Right now, we're still going through the Bud Light Daredevils. They've performed here before, and they really bring this crowd into to its feet when they come here. And if you haven't ever seen them again, you watch them a little bit now. They're even more fun to watch in person, Randy, as people watching right now, they're probably watching on TV, but they're even more fun to watch in person.
Well, Larry, I tell you, they are exciting, but I agree with Dick Sharp. You don't have to watch them very long with their dribbling to know they don't play a lot of basketball. They just slam dunk it off those trampolines. But they are exciting. They put on a great show, and it's good to have this kind of entertainment for our fans.
Right, and we're going to mention Saturday night, of course, the Lions, their final home ball game for the men's team. They will be at home Saturday night to host Campbell University, and that will be a big key ball game for them. And then, of course, the Lady Lions have 3 home ball games next week, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday before hosting the conference tournament. Dr. Randy Moffett, we thank you for coming by at halftime and giving us your information.
Good, thanks, Larry.
And again, tonight's ball game being brought to you by Dame Eat Cinema. From February 23rd to the 29th, they are showing City Hall, Black Sheep, The Juror, Sense and Sensibility. Also by the law firm of Cash, Lewis, Moody, Coudrain, attorneys Rodney Cash, Alton Lewis, Chris Moody, and Andre Coudrain, with offices at 106 South Mogan Street in Hammond, 542-6848, and Dixie Miles and Nissan Lincoln Mercury of Hammond, the #1 new car sales leader in Hammond. At Dixie, all our customers have purchased over 100 cars each month for the last 10 months. And with over $3 million in RV inventory and over $2 million in used program car inventory, Dixie Motors has an exceptional array of vehicles for you to choose from to meet your needs. Remember, Dixie Miles and Nissan Lincoln Mercury is still the home of no rigmarole. Drop in soon at Dixie Motors in Hammond at the corner of North Morrison Boulevard and Church Street. And a Khaki Cabana, a popular eating place at 404 West Columbus Drive in Hammond, has a special on for the days of SOU basketball games. On those days, from 2 p.m. until closing time, with each order of a sandwich and drink, you get free prize. That's on SOU basketball game days and February the 15th. The Mardi Gras Day Parade from 2 p.m. till closing time. You get free prize with any sandwich and drink order at the Khaki Cabana. It's located on Columbus Drive, just down the street from the University Center. And we'll have some additional comments as we prepare to start the second half. Well, Dick Sharp looking at the first half statistics, fairly even, just like the score is, other than a Sam Bowie three-pointer right at the buzzer to give the Lions a 6-point cushion, of course, their biggest lead, but basically pretty even overall.
Well, we've had actually more shots than they have, although they've out-rebounded us, which is kind of unusual. But we've had 5 three-pointers where they've had no three-pointers. It's not too unusual for them, though. They don't shoot a lot of three-pointers. We got some scores here, Larry. I may pass on to the listeners. One final score in. Georgia State beat Jacksonville State tonight, which is not significant for us. But it is significant that Campbell is leading Centenary with 16:32 left in the second half, 36-32. Florida International leading UCF 62-51, and I'll give you that other score in a minute.
And Charleston inbounds the basketball to start the second half. With the basketball, that's Weber. They get it inside to Weber. He turns, puts a shot up, no good. Rebound inside by President, no good. And finally rebounded by Sam Bowie. Quickly out to Green, down the right side to Grant. Grant back out to Bowie. Bowie will launch a three-pointer. It is no good. In and out. Rebounded, long outlet pass to Johnson. Johnson backs it out as Bowie converges on him. Top of the key. Shot, three-pointer up and out, no good, but Delaney's there for the rebound, and he's fouled as Harris missed a three-pointer, but Delaney, who only had 3 rebounds in the first half, grabbed that one, and that's going to be Sam Bowie's second foul.
The other score of significance for Southeastern is the fact that with 9:53 left in the second half, Sanford leads Mercer 53-46. In that game, we would certainly like to see Mercer come out victorious, as we would like to see Centenary come out victorious over Campbell tonight.
Delaney goes to the line for 2 free throws. Looks like Sam Bowie might have hurt himself slightly on that foul, and Glenn Charles will come in for him.
Sam looks like he got a knee in the groin there, doubled over on the bench.
Delaney shoots the first one. It's good. He made 2 for 2 in the first half. Misses the second one, but Noble Evans is there to snatch the rebound. Down to Rico Grant, right side. Pulls up, drives the lane, passes to Glenn Charles. He launches a three-pointer, no good. Rebounded by Weber. Weber back to President. President over to Johnson. He's going to drive all the way down on the left side. Backs it out to President. Loops it over the right side. They try to get him to Delaney, and he tips the ball out of bounds. It'll be Lions basketball.
Nice hustle on defense by the Lions again.
Southeastern will come back offensively, leading by 5, played just over a minute in the second half. Troy Green out front with the basketball. Right side to Whittingham. Whittingham only had 2 points in the first half. There's Green. He pulls up, shoots. No good. Rebounded by Charles. A long inbound pass to Grant. Shot clock did not reset because they didn't hit anything. Now Grant out front with the basketball. Rico drives, passes to Whittingham. This time he drinks it off the glass. Good.
Nice feed there by Rico. Nice assist.
Rico penetrated just enough. Got somebody open on the baseline. 49-42.
Jason's learned to cut in there towards the goal when Rico drives and penetrates.
Out front, Johnson with the basketball. That's President now. They're looking inside. To Weber. Johnson drives all the way in, gives it to Delaney. Delaney had to block from behind by Noble Evans. Green down quickly with the basketball. To Charles. Whittingham loses it. Well, Weber picks it up. He's going to go all the way in and slam it home. Some miscommunication by the Lions out front cost them 2 points. It's 49-44. Charleston picking up the defensive tempo now, stretching out their defense. Whittingham back to Green. Green down to Grant. Rico Grant backs it out to Troy Green. Right side to Grant. To Charles in the lane. Stops, puts up a 6-footer. Good. Glenn Charles.
Good to see Glenn get on the board there.
Lance just popped it in the lane. Open man, and they hit him, and he made a shot. Charleston's going to call a timeout. 3 minutes played in the second half. Southeastern leads 51-44. Quick reminder, the game being brought to you by the Khaki Cabana, 60 miles to Nissan Lincoln Mercury, the law firm of Cash, Lewis, Moody, and Coudrain, and the A-Meat Cinema. And Dick, again, reminding people just joining on the broadcast, if you're still in the early portion of the ball game, we're being inundated with throws and everything here. Floodlights held concerts and things tonight. I think it looks like keychains that they're throwing up here into the stands.
Person could get hurt real bad here.
You get hurt real bad. But Saturday night, the Lions played Campbell University, and that could be a very key ball game for the Lions here in the University Center. In fact, it will be, regardless of tonight's outcome. Well, that will be a very key ball game.
It's the last chance for the fans to see this team at home this year. I'd urge you, if you haven't gotten to see them, come out here, and if you have, I probably don't need to urge you, but it'll be a great game. Both teams, again, need to win that last ball game. They're fighting for possession of that #1 seed in the TAC tournament, as well as the rankings in the conference.
Of course, Cougars fighting for their lives and a possible NC2A bid. Just because they lose doesn't mean they won't get the bid, but at the same time, this will not help them losing the game in the conference. Charleston with the basketball, finally get it outside to Harris. Johnson to Weber.
Lions playing good defense here.
And that's Harris puts up a shot. It's good. He's fouled. Stacey Harris makes the bucket, cuts it to 51-46, and they call a foul on Rico Grant, his first. That'll send Harris to the line with a chance for a three-point play.
Credit the basket to Stacey Harris.
51-46.
He'll shoot one. Into the game for SLU, number 40, Jason Kay, replaces Noble Evans.
Evans takes a break. Jason Kay comes in. Harris makes his free throw. And it's 51-47. Troy Green trying to break the press, gets it. Pass picked off, and they'll call scrambling on Harris as he comes down with the basketball.
Troy made a real fundamental mistake there. He left his feet and had to pass the ball. Gets you in trouble a lot of times.
So Southeastern will still have the basketball on their offensive end of the court. This is Rico Grant. 16-20 to go in the ball game. The Lions are leading by 4. Bowie pulls up to Grant. Grant outside. Now backs off, shoots the three. In and out, no good. Rebounded by Delaney. Cougars will come back with the basketball. Pass quickly down underneath to Harris. Puts the shot up good. They broke the press and had about a 4-on-1 fast break. Sam Bowie double team, triple team. The ball is knocked out of bounds out of his hands. And all of a sudden, the Cougars' press is beginning to bother the Lions a little bit.
They're trying to beat us at our own game here. So far, the Lions have not reacted well to it.
Green will inbound the basketball. Gets it into Glenn Charles, who is checked in now. To Bowie. Bowie pulls up, drives the lane, puts the leaping leaner up and good. Sam Bowie. 15 in the first half, registers his first bucket here in the second half, 53-49.
Sam is so deceptive. It's so difficult to guard him once he gets past that first man.
Out front, President with the basketball. This is Harris. To Johnson. To Weber. President to Johnson. Shots put up, missed. Whittingham with the rebound. Lions break it out. This is Troy Green coming down with it quickly. Green backs up, shoots the shot, no good. Rebounded by Green in the lane, puts it up, no good. Tipped up by Whittingham.
Nice offensive board work there by the Lions.
Jason Kay, Whittingham, and Green all kept alive. Whittingham finally got the good tip. There's a pass inbounds, partially tipped out of bounds. Lions lead 55-49. It'll be Cougar basketball. And on the court, we have a timeout on the floor. And remind you that this ball game tonight is being brought to you by the law firm of Cash, Lewis, Moody, and Coudrain. Attorneys Rodney Cash, Alton Lewis, Chris Moody, and Andre Coudrain with offices at 106 Mount Moyer Street in Hammond. Also, Dixie Mazda, Nissan, Lincoln Mercury is still the home of no rigmarole. Drop in soon at Dixie Motors in Hammond at the corner of North Marston Boulevard and Church Street. And don't forget the Khaki Cabana on West Columbus Drive in Hammond, where you can have a special on the days of Southeastern basketball games. With the order of a sandwich and drink, you get free fries. That's on SLU basketball game days at the Khaki Cabana, located on Columbus Drive, just down the street from the University Center. And don't forget some of your favorite movies are showing at the Amite Cinema, including City Hall, Black Sheep, The Juror, and Sense and Sensibility. Sponsors making tonight's broadcast a possibility for you as we bring this game from the University Center 55-49. Southeastern leading the Cougars in this key TAC matchup.
Southeastern hasn't lost any of their leads so far this half. We've played about 1/4 of the half's gone by. Southeastern's kept up their intensity, but we got to recognize College of Charleston is not going to go down easily tonight, and they're going to continue to press us and try different things to try to get us out of our rhythm.
Out of the timeout, Cougar basketball.
It'll be Cougar basketball. Avery Anderson is checked in for Green, and they get it into Johnson. He'll bring it up. Anthony Johnson. He's dogged by Anderson as he comes up the floor. They get it on the right side to McCravey, and McCravey walks. He just kind of tiptoed and moved too much. It'll be line basketball with a 6-point lead. They could open their biggest lead of the ball game right here on this trip down. 14.5 minutes to go in the contest. That's Anderson out front, looking for somebody. Gets it to Evans. Evans to Kay, breaking in the lane, puts up the 10-footer. Good, Jason Kay. You said that's one of his favorite shots, breaking the little jumper in the lane, and he makes it 57-49. Lions lead. Johnson drives all the way baseline, puts a shot up over Kay. Good. Anthony Johnson hits his first bucket. Quickly down left side, Sam Bowie's going to drive up, puts an off-balance shot up, and good. Lions quickly retaliate. Bowie, 59-51.
Lions continue to keep that offensive pressure on College of Charleston.
This is Johnson. The Lions try to double-team him. They leave McCravey on alone for a three-pointer. It is no good. Rebounded finally by Bowie. Noble Evans did a good job blocking out Delaney on that one. The rebound almost went too long, though. The Lions still come back. 8-point lead. Chance to open their biggest margin of the ball game again. This is to Bowie on the left wing. And they're going to call, I think, an offensive foul on Noble Evans, as he set an illegal pick. No, they called it on Avery Anderson. Excuse me, that's his third foul.
Personal foul number 15, Avery Anderson.
This one referee has called several of those offensive picks tonight.
Cougar basketball.
Cougar basketball, and they're going to call a timeout. Dick?
We got a few statistics for you. The Lions are shooting 46% during the game so far, while our opponents are shooting 56%. We've gotten more shots than they have, however, and we've had 43 shots at the goal. They've had 39. Free throws, we're doing real well tonight with almost 73%, where we normally shoot about 62%. And College of Charleston shooting only 62% at the line, which is not as good as they normally shoot. In terms of rebounds, we're getting out-rebounded badly tonight, 33-21, which doesn't happen to us very often. But it's not often we play against the leading rebounder in the league either.
The Lions leading by 8 points, 59-51. The Cougars have the basketball as we get ready to get started back.
One other statistic of interest, which explains why we've got a lead, is we've had only eight turnovers, whereas College of Charleston's had 13, giving us 5 extra possessions.
Southeastern, of course, again, a reminder, they will be at home Saturday night, the final home ball game for the Lions, Saturday night against Campbell University. And that will be a very key matchup, regardless of the outcome of this contest. It will be a most critical, must victory for the Lions.
If Campbell goes on to win tonight, it is a crucial game for us. If Campbell should, by some chance, lose tonight, The worst we could end up with is a tie if we win tonight.
Charleston has the basketball. That's McCravey with the basketball out front. It's like the Lions want to have Bowie on whoever's the point guard tonight. That's Connor with the basketball. McCravey passes away, but it's picked off by Grant. Grant driving down the court. Tries a behind-the-back pass, and it's picked off by Connor. Rico got a little fancy on that one. And now they get it to Delaney, and his pass way on the outside. Johnson drives up, tries to pass underneath, and goes out of bounds off the Cougars. Both teams getting a little ragged.
Rico will pay for that mistake with a little time on the bench. Coach Lyles is not happy with him about that pass. We had a 3-on-2 break, and just goofed it up. A little too fancy there.
Lions inbound the basketball against the Cougars press. Like they're running some type of a zone press. They get it to Bowie. Now inside Evans. Turns around, puts up the 5-footer good. Noble Evans.
Noble having an outstanding game tonight. Both ends of the court.
Going against the league's premier big man, Dash Delaney. Noble Evans has held his own tonight. 61-51. Lions with a 10-point lead. 12-18 to go in the ball game. Here's Weber drives in, and Noble Evans swats it out of bounds. Now, Stacey Harris drove in between two Lion defenders, let it fly, and Noble Evans was there. Just play volleyball with it on that time. Now the Cougars will inbound it again. Exactly 12-12 to go in the second half of play as the Lions are leading the heavily favored Charleston Cougars. Get the Cougars are riding a 20-game winning streak right now.
Yeah, this would be a tough loss for them if they lose tonight, but they're going to have trouble beating Southeastern if they continue this intensity.
Inbound pass to Connor. He makes the bucket, and the foul is going to be called on Whittingham. Just a simple inbound play. Connor hits the bucket. Whittingham picks up his second foul. And Connor goes to the free throw line to shoot. If they get down the stretch, Charleston's shooting 67% from the free throw line, although Connor's just a 57% shooter. And he misses that one, and
he's not shooting 57 anymore.
He's 0 for 2 from the line tonight. 61-53. Roy Green out front with the basketball. Right side to Bowie. Bowie drives, has the ball picked away from him, and they're going to call a foul on Anthony Johnson.
Anthony Johnson's been doing a good job guarding Sam. It's just awfully hard to guard Sam.
First personal for the second half against the Cougars.
Played 12 minutes, played 8 minutes, and that's the first foul on Charleston in the second half.
They had 11 in the first half, and we only had 8, so maybe they're evening it up a little.
Noble Evans dribbles up, shoots a 10-footer. Good, Noble Evans. You're going to give it to him, and I'm going to shoot it and make it. 63-53.
This is something the College of Charleston didn't expect to see tonight, as an offensive performance on the part of Noble Evans.
And he's got 10 points, and they just called a foul on Charleston, and Troy Green turns around, picks up the identical same type of foul.
Those are the kind of coach hates to see, those little ticky-tacky fouls where they're not necessary. Didn't accomplish a thing by it. He's going to take Troy out and talk to him about that foul, I think.
Instead of playing good straight defense, what you've been doing all night, you try to reach in and get that extra steal. Sometimes there's a place for conservatism, and sometimes there's a place for the gamble. Right now, the Lions with a 10-point lead. Pass inside, Delaney lays it up and in. His first basket of the second half. Anderson has the ball knocked out of bounds.
There were 3 men around Delaney that time. They still got him the ball.
Southeastern will inbound the basketball. Leading by 8. They get it to Anderson. Anderson had a great first half for Southeastern. 8 points, did a good job defensively. Over to Whittingham. He'll drive the baseline, and he's pushed by Connor, who picks up his third foul. That was pretty evident. Jason just got a half a step on him, and Connor, on the way he could stop him. Now Green and Grant come back in.
Rico Grant, Troy Green returns to the Lions, number 23. Cedric Weber back in for the Cougars. Lion basketball.
Inbound to Evans. So he's going to shoot that 3 for a second. He felt he had a hot hand. Troy Green will. Puts up the 3-pointer. No good. Rebounded by Harris. Quickly down to Johnson. On the attack. right side to President. He'll put the three-pointer up. It is in and out, no good. Ball is tipped around on the floor, recovered by Whittingham. Jump ball, it'll be Southeastern basketball.
Good hustle there. Got down on the floor after that ball.
One of the few three-pointers you'll see Charleston put up. They've only shot for the season, let's see, in 24 ball games, they've shot an average of about 10, 11 a ball game.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Lions, who have shot 500, is that right? 596 three-pointers in 24 ball games. That's
well,
about 25 a ball game, I guess. Huh?
Charleston didn't have any out of 5 the first half, which tells you why they don't shoot.
Drives, puts a shot up, it's going to count, the foul is going to be called. They're going to count the bucket, and they're going to call a foul on Bowie. That's unusual.
Personal foul against number 23. Sam Bowie, his third.
They called in the basket good. They said Bowie fouled somebody on the drive. 65-55 Lions, that's Bowie's third foul.
Referee saw something there I didn't see. I didn't see an offensive foul there.
They did give the bucket, and there's a 5-second call. The Lions come back with good defense. They'll inbound the basketball. 10:37 to go with their chance to take their biggest lead of the ball game.
You know, sometimes people are critical of Southeastern's offense because they press a lot of times and they have the other teams get breakaway bunnies, so to speak. But that was a perfect example of what that press can do. It can get you a lot of turnovers over the night, and that's the kind that you hope for there. They didn't even get the ball in play, and we got a turnover because of that pressure defense.
And remind you, the ball game tonight is brought to you by the Khaki Cabana on West Columbus Drive in Hammond. You always get the best of freshly prepared food, whether it's an appetizer, soup, salad, or any variety of sandwiches or combos. All are freshly prepared for your satisfaction. Also, you can enjoy delicious spare rib baskets or catfish plates at the Khaki Cabana located on Columbus Drive, just down the street from the University Center. Don't forget, Dixie, Mazda, Nissan, Lincoln Mercury of Hammond is the #1 new car sales leader in Hammond. Dixie, Mazda, Nissan, Lincoln Mercury is still the home of no rigmarole. Drop in soon at Dixie Motors in Hammond at the corner of North Morrison Boulevard and Church Street. And the nice ball game brought to you by the law firm of Cash, Lewis, Moody, and Coudrain. Law attorneys Rodney Cash, Alton Lewis, Chris Moody, and Andre Coudrain, with law offices at 106 South Magnolia in Hammond. And also by the Amy Cinema, showing February 23rd to the 29th, City Hall, Black Sheep, Jura, and Simpson Sensibility. 10:37 to go in this ball game. We played 2/3 of the game. The Lions lead by 10. They have the basketball. I think there's only 3 teams in the country that won 20 consecutive ball games this year. One's Kentucky, one's Massachusetts, and the third one is the Cougars. Sam Bowie launches a three-pointer and misses everything. Now the Cougars come down. President puts up a shot. It's good. Gamel President with his first basket, and they cut it to 8. As Green comes up, he is fouled by President, who picks up his third foul. Lions will inbound the basketball with an 8-point lead right now. We've just about reached the midway point of the second half. Roy Green dribbles up, hands it to Green to Bowie. The Lions with their outside weave right now. Back outside. Now Bowie's going to drive in, puts the shot up. No good. Gets his own rebound, and there's going to be a foul on the floor before he goes up and puts it down. They're going to either call out on Weber or Delaney. And they're going to call that one on Weber. His second. Lions will inbound the basketball again.
Number 42, Rodney Gunner, back to the game for College of
So Southeastern will inbound the basketball under their own bucket.
Stephanie.
Troy Green inbounds the basketball and gets it to Whittingham. To Green, into Noble Evans. Evans back outside to Bowie. Drives up, dishes off to Whittingham, puts a shot up over Noble Evans. Whittingham with 6 points in the second half. He's got 8.
That's the kind of team where Coach Lyles loves to see.
Bowie passed up the shot in the lane and gave it to Whittingham. As we said, he's been an offensive force for the Lions. Had only 2 points in the first half, but has 6 in this half.
That's an example of how unselfish Sam is with that ball.
Cougars come back quickly and get it to Johnson on the baseline. He puts it in. It's 67-59, 8-point Lion lead. Once again, the Lions going to go with their weave outside. Grant drives in, puts the shot up and good. Rico Grant almost lost his dribble between 2 or 3 defenders, but managed to get the shot up and in. The Lions lead still at 10, 69-59. That's Johnson. He's going to pull up, be left alone, top of the key, and he'll drill it.
Can't let him have those kind of open shots inside the circle.
10 points for Johnson, and they are pretty deadly when they have. And the Lions are going to call the timeout, Dick.
Timeout.
Well, with that 11 and a half minutes gone in this half already, the Lions have maintained their lead and actually increased it.
SLU 8, Jackson State 6.
We just got a baseball score in. SLU beat Jacksonville State tonight 8-6.
Southeastern now 5-1 on the season. They'll be home for several home ball games next week. Check your local listings for when the Lions will be at home. As Southeastern took a 20-second timeout. Southeastern would lead. 8:48 to go, 69-61. Sam Bowie will inbound the basketball for the Lions. They lead by 8. And you look pretty soon for Charleston to put that extra surge on. They're used to winning. And they've been in a lot of tight ball games, Dick, in conference play this year. Outside to Bowie.
Well, we found out already tonight Southeastern can play with them.
Nothing else, this is a tremendous confidence factor. As Evans puts up a 14, 15-footer. Rico Grant tips it and misses it. Long outlet pass to Delaney. He's going to put the shot up and slams it home. And they're going to call a foul.
That was a wasted foul there. He had the lead on him, and they probably should let him go ahead and take it, not waste the foul.
Oh, that on Evans. That's his second. So Delaney has 13 points in the ball game. He'll have a free throw here. Charleston can cut it to 5. And they do. Now Evans will inbound the basketball. Lions facing this.
Noble's not the one we want bringing it up the floor there.
Now Troy Green sets the offense. 8 minutes to go in the ball game. Southeastern leading by 5. Troy launches a long three-pointer. Good! He's got that one spot about 2.5 steps past the top of the key that he really, like, if he gets set, he can really drill it from there.
They can't let him alone out there. They're going to regret it.
72-64. Lions lead back to 8. Harris from the top of the key. In and out, no good. Rico Grant with the rebound. Comes up quickly with the basketball. Pulls up, back to Green. Spins it out. Don Lyle said, let's back it out and set the offense up. He wants to go back into the weave. Rico Grant, Winningham, outside the Green. He'll launch an NBA 3. Good! Another one. Troy Green from Nowheresville. That was a parking lot shot there. And Charleston will call a timeout. The Lions increase their lead to the biggest of the night, 75-64.
There's not much doubt that before this next game is over that Troy Green will own the TAC record for three-pointers in one season, considering this young man's just a freshman. No telling what he'll do by the time he leaves Lionville here.
He has 14 points in the ball game tonight. Of course, he's been averaging, for the season, been averaging 16.3. And Bowie is averaging 22-1. Sam's already got 21 on the ball game tonight. 6:58 to go in the ball game. The Lions with an 11-point lead. They're biggest of the contest.
Fans that are out here tonight, and it's a good crowd out here tonight to see the Lions and the Bud Light Daredevils. They're seeing the Lions perform probably easily their best performance of the year, and in the biggest game of the year. That's just wonderful to see.
And don't let them down Saturday night because it's just as big a ball game. The marquee is not as big because they're not playing a Charleston, but the importance is maybe even more so important as they play Campbell University here. The final home ball game. It'll be the final ball game for Bowie and Whittingham at home for the Lions.
Once again, if Campbell were to win tonight, and we'll have that final for you here in a minute, if Campbell were to win tonight and Southeastern were to win tonight, Southeastern still would not get the #1 seed if they don't beat Campbell on Saturday night.
Troy Green has launched a couple of three-pointers to give the Lions some new impetus, and they have an 11-point lead. This is Harris over to Johnson. They're looking inside for Delaney. Outside to Connor. Back to Johnson. They do get it into Delaney. He fakes, and he gets Whittingham on his back and makes the bucket.
He got away again. They just keep working it around till they can get it in there to Delaney. Coach Law's real unhappy with that defensive effort.
That's 75-66. Delaney goes to the free throw line. He's got 16 points in the ball game, and he'll shoot the free throw. And it's in and out, no good, and rebounded by Connor. Connor just continually out-jumped Evans for the ball. Baseline, President, back outside. Three-pointer, Johnson, no good. Rebounded by Evans, almost throws it away, and Troy Green can't control it. And he said he stepped out of bounds and then stepped back in to handle basketball, I believe.
We have some finals in, none of them which we like the looks of. Final, Samford beat Mercer 78-71, so they're still in the swim of things. We told you earlier, Georgia State beat Jacksonville State. Stetson is losing to Florida Atlantic, and with 2 minutes to play, Campbell leading Centenary 68-55, so that Saturday night game gets bigger and bigger.
And the Lions with a 9-point lead. Sets up their weave outside again with a 9-point lead. That's Bowie, Green, and Grant. Troy Green drives in, back out to Bowie. He tries to penetrate, it's cut off. Out front, he tries it, and he's hand-checked, and they're going to call it.
Let's see if they call it in the process of shooting.
Fouls on Johnson, his third. 15 foul. Lions will inbound the basketball.
No, they're not going to give him the shot on it.
Foul number 24, Anthony Johnson. That's his third, team foul number 5 on the Cougars.
And Troy Green will inbound it
for the Cougars
on the Lions' offensive board.
Starting to get down to crunch time here shortly.
Whittingham on inbound pass, shoots a 12-footer.
Oh, we got a home roll on that one.
77-66, Lions lead back to the 11. 5:40 to go in the ball game. Down left side. Pass to Johnson. He drives over Whittingham. Bowie with the rebound. Jason, good job holding his feet there. Bowie drives to Whittingham in the lane. Puts up the 10-footer. Good! Well, Jason did a good job avoiding fouls on each end of the court. And got the bucket. Lions 13-point lead, 79-66.
Southeastern just playing magnificently on both ends of the court.
That's Weber shooting. He makes it.
That's Cedric Weber.
79-68. Lions trying to break this zone pressure. Good pass by Troy Green, but Evans has the ball tipped away. And now comes Weber all the way down, puts a shot up and in.
Cedric Weber.
Maybe I spoke a little early on the defensive end there.
79-70, and the Lions going to call a timeout.
Timeout. Southeastern.
The Lions had a turnover after having their biggest lead of the ball game, and now they will call a timeout with 4:43 to go in the ball game, leading 79-70. Part of tonight's ball game being brought to you by the law firm of Cash, Lewis, Moody, and Coudrain. Our attorneys Rodney Cash, Alton Lewis, Chris Moody, and Andre Coudrain. With law offices at 106 South Magnolia Street in Hammond, 542-6848. Brought to you also by Dixie Mazda, Nissan Lincoln Mercury of Hammond, the #1 new car sales leader in Hammond. Remember, Dixie Mazda, Nissan Lincoln Mercury is still the home of no rigmarole. Drop in soon at Dixie Motors in Hammond at the corner of North Morrison Boulevard and Church Street. And a Khaki Commando on West Columbus Drive in Hammond. You always get the best of freshly prepared food, whether it's an appetizer, soup, salad, any variety of sandwiches or combos, all freshly prepared for your satisfaction. You can can enjoy delicious spare rib baskets or catfish plates at the Khaki Cabana, located at 404 West Columbus Drive in Hammond. Drop in today, and don't forget their specials on Southeastern basketball game days. And also being brought to you by the A-Meat Cinema. Showing right now, 23rd through the 29th, City Hall, Black Sheep, The Juror, Sense and Sensibility. For further information, call 748-8114. Lions have the basketball. 4:43 to go and a 9-point lead. Whittingham gets it in the green. Green to Evans. Evans. Now this time protects the ball a little bit better and gets it back to Troy Green. Green's going to drive all the way in, shoots from the free throw line. Good! Troy Green. 16 points, he's hit his average. Quickly pass down to Johnson. Johnson breaks the pressure. That's Weber, shoots from the free throw line. No good, rebounded by Bowie.
Lions getting some controlling those offensive boards, those defensive boards right now.
11-point Southeastern lead. They're going to back it out a little bit and slow it down. Going to a big outside weave. Hope they can break 101. Grant to Green. Green pulls up, shoots from 16, no good. Rebounded by Weber. Sam Bowie tries to save the ball inbounds. There's Johnson on the breakaway. Ball is tipped away by Rico Grant. Grant scrambles on the floor. Jump ball. It will be Cougar basketball, but what defensive hustle by the Lions.
On both ends. Sam down on the other end of the floor and Rico on that end gave it everything they could have possibly been asked to give.
And Lions lead by 11. Cougars inbounded underneath their own basket. And Dick, this is the type of basketball that's got to set the tone not only for the rest of this year, but for the start of next year. You've got to start somewhere. The Lions slowly started last year. They built it up this year, and you hope that you can pick it up in November next year as they take back off again. The President with a three-point shot, no good, but Delaney with the rebound has it stripped away, but comes back with it. And now Harris with a long shot, Bowie with another rebound. Sam has gotten real strong on the boards tonight, on the defensive boards for the Lions. Now Rico Grant will walk it up. He has Harris on him. Harris bumps him. Third foul on Harris. 16 fouls. The Lions will still inbound the basketball.
Next foul will go into the penalty, and that'll be a big advantage here, so they can't foul us anymore. They got nothing to give with 3.5 minutes to play.
11-point Southeastern lead. Evans gives it back to Green out front. Freshman on freshman, two of the best freshmen in the Trans-America Athletic Conference going head-to-head right there. It's Troy Green. He spins around President, drives in. Evans way back outside the Grant. Lions trying to work the shot clock as much as they can. Grant, he's dogged by Harris. Pulls up, passes, throws the ball out of bounds. And it'll be Cougar basketball.
Not much you can say about that, just a little miscommunication there. Jason's going one way, the ball went another.
Now the Cougars come back, trailing by 11 with 3 minutes to go. This will be a monumental comeback for them against a good basketball team. Johnson, left side. Is that Harris? Three-pointer, no good. Delaney over two lines, puts the shot back up and in.
Yeah, we were on both sides of him for that rebound, and neither one of our men could get up with him.
There's a pass down court to Whittingham. They're going to call a foul on the Cougars, and that's going to be on Harris. That's his fourth foul, and it's send Whittingham to the free throw line. Of course, you mentioned the Lions will start going to the free throw line, but they're going to have to make them now with a 9-point lead.
Jason hasn't been having real good luck at the free throw line lately, but he's got the pretty stroke. If he just relaxes and concentrates on what he's doing, he usually makes them.
For the season, just 59% from the line. Got a good second half, though, and first shot trickles through.
Jason's really had a strong second half here.
11 points in the second half of Whittingham. He only had 2 in the first half. Next shot is off, no good, rebounded by Weber. 10-point line lead, 82-72, 2.5 minutes to go. Now it's the Lions against the clock as much as against the Cougars. There's Johnson, drive. They don't want to foul in this situation. Weber out to Harris, top of the key, three-pointer, it's good.
3-point basket, Stacey Harris, timeout.
Stacey Harris is to the top of the key. They cut it to 7 with 2:19 to go. And Dick, right now, as I said, with this big a lead, 7 points, 82-75. You want to stretch it out and milk that clock as much as you can. With a 35-second clock, you get.
We want to make them foul it, but it's not a big lead if they're hitting three-pointers. It's only three possession ball game, and a lot of time left for that much.
As you said, Whittingham hit one free throw. Lions have five people in double figures tonight. All starters have hit double figures in the contest.
Well, as we said, regardless what happens tonight, and right now things look like they're going Southeastern's way, but regardless what happens, Southeastern's played the outstanding basketball game they played this year, and the ones that I've seen anyway.
Let's say they've risen to the occasion tonight as they've faced one of the nation's hottest teams. As we said, only 3 teams in the country have won 20 ball games. And Dick, I don't care what level you're at, winning 20 ball games in a row in the course of a season in this day and age is tough. And Charleston has done it. Kentucky and Massachusetts, the number 1 and 2 teams in the nation, are the other 2 teams that have done it. Charleston has taken on the opposition and won a lot of road games, and that's big.
Now they're a fine basketball team, and they have nothing to be ashamed of the way they played tonight. Southeastern just played an outstanding game against them. And of course, as we said, there's a lot of time left in this ball game. We don't want to get to counting chickens yet.
After the Lions home ball game Saturday night, all the teams that's eligible, or the top 8 teams in the league, will go to the conference tournament in DeLand, Florida, hosted by Stetson. Lions inbound it. They wanted to foul Evans, I think, as soon as he got his hands on the ball. Now they get it to Green. Green out front with the basketball. He's got Jamel President on him. Green dribbles around, and they're going to call a hand check. They can call that all night on both teams.
Personal foul number 20, Jamel President.
That's the 4th on President. And
we ran off about 15 seconds there, and we got 2 free throws. It's going to be a free throw shooting contest. We've got to make them.
Troy Green shooting 69.8% for the season and makes this first one. Boy, he stepped up to the forefront in this second half. That is very impressive for a freshman to take on the role he's taken in this half. Makes them both.
Big free throws there.
84-75.
Southeastern's going to keep the pressure on them, make them take you some time to get the ball up the court.
Top of the key. 3-point shot, no good. Green with the rebound. Troy Green will bring it up, back it up, try to break the pressure, and he walks. He left his feet too quick, and one of his outlet pass was covered.
He did that once earlier. He's got to learn not to leave his feet till he passes that ball.
Now the Cougars get the basketball. Minute 48 to go. The Lions lead by 9. There's Johnson. They're trying to find somebody open for a 3-pointer. Harris, top of the key, puts up a 3. It's good. Boy, Harris has come in and hit a couple of crucial ones. Now Troy Green loses the ball out of bounds as he falls to the floor. Lions looking for contact over there, but Harris is now holding his left ankle. And let's see. He's going to stay in the ball game. 6-point Lion lead with 1:35 to go. Quickly Johnson up, looking for Harris, top of the key. Another 3-pointer, no good. Rico Grant tips it away, and it's recovered by Whittingham. Over to Green. Green, long pass down to Bowie. Bowie, 1-on-1. Let's see if he tries to take somebody. Passes it to Evans, who misses the shot. Whittingham going for the rebound, and he is fouled by whoever. No doubt about that. Noble Evans missed a crucial bucket right there.
Missed the easiest shot he had all night.
Really was. He just what he's had. He did some very clutch jump shots. Sam Bowie with a nice pass off to him. But
here again, we need free throws. We've been saying all year long it was going to come down to some crucial times when they needed free throws, and this is one of those times.
6-point Lion lead, Whittingham.
He can make it a 3-point possession right here if he makes one of these.
He makes the first one good. That's 85-78, 7-point lead.
I said a 3-point possession. It's a 3-possession.
So Whittingham now with 12 points in the second half, 14 in the ball game.
You knew Jason was going to get his points somewhere during the ball game. He'd been awful quiet that first half.
Troy Green limping around. Doc Goodwin looking at him over there, but Avery Anderson has replaced him. Whittingham misses it. Noble Evans has the rebound fall right out of his hands. Quickly up the court. That's Weber shoots a long 3-pointer. Good. Boy, they have hit some crucial 3-pointers for a team that doesn't shoot 3-pointers very much. They've come down and ripped some.
Well, let's remember, we just missed a layup and we missed a free throw. Let's hope they don't come back to haunt us.
1:06 to go. It's 85-81. Tonight's ball game again brought to you by Amy Cinema, Khaki Cabana, Dixie Mazda, Nissan Lincoln Mercury, and law firm of Coudrain, Cash, Lewis, and Moody. And reminder once again, Dick, Saturday night, SOU, Campbell College, 7:15 here at the University Center.
We can cinch ourselves a tie for the championship here tonight, but we can't cinch ourselves a win. We got down to 4 points now with 1:06 to play. You know they're going to foul every time we come down the floor, and they're hoping to get somebody on the free throw line that can't make them in a crucial time.
And the Lions overall have not been a real good free throw shooting team. They're shooting 65.7 as a team. And they'll be sent to the line a lot down the stretch here, as you said. That is Charleston's hope. But boy, you got to be impressed for a team that doesn't shoot a lot of three-pointers. They've stepped it up. Harris has hit a couple. Weber's hit one at a time when they've needed them. And they haven't been easy ones. A couple of them have been with somebody in their face.
Yeah, they've made some tough ones. We need to step up tough right now also. They're gonna try to keep us from getting the ball inbounds. We'll probably foul immediately. We have all our good free throw shooters in the ball game right now, or all our best ones.
The Lions, good defensive pressure by the Cougars. Whittingham called a timeout. The Lions did replace Noble Evans and brought in Troy Green back in for him. So we got 3 good ball handlers out front, plus Bowie and Whittingham, who both can handle the ball real well.
Yeah, we got our best free throw shooter in there, Avery Anderson. I'm sure we'd like to get the ball in his hand, although I'm sure we wouldn't have any problem with any of the fellas that are in there shooting. I guess we'd prefer Avery or Sam at the line or Troy.
No time ran off the clock. We're still at 106, 85-81, a 4-point lead for the Lions. It's all of a sudden from 11 points Southeastern lead it's turned into anybody's ball game, but you got to give Charleston, that's why Charleston's won 20 straight ball games, Dick. They just don't roll over and play dead, you know, when they've won some ball games. The only 2 losses came in the 5th and 6th game of the season when they lost at Syracuse and they lost to University of Connecticut at a neutral court.
The Lions are sitting right on their scoring average for the year. They average 85 points a ball game. They're sitting on 85 right now.
They're going to need a little bit more than that to win, probably.
Yeah, I think they're going to need about 90 to win.
Be Whittingham to inbound it, and he gets it into Grant. Grant double-teamed in the backcourt. And they're going to finally call a foul on somebody. As only 4 seconds ticked off the clock. They'll send Rico Grant. Now, Rico stepped up against Georgia State. He had something like 5 or 6 down the stretch.
Yeah, Rico's been tough in the clutch on those free throw lines. Coach Lyles immediately puts Noble Evans back there on the offensive end for those rebounds and sits Avery down. I'm sure he'll put Avery back in if we have the ball down out of bounds anywhere at the other end.
Rico will have 2 here because it's in the 10 fouls, and he makes it.
He comes through with a big one there.
5-point lead for the Lions, 86-81.
This is a big free throw right here and make them have 2 3-pointers.
And he makes them both. Rico Grant. Pressure free throw.
Big free throws there in the clutch.
Cougars get it into Harris. They're going to let President bring it up. Less than a minute to go in the ball game. The Lions lead by 6. On the baseline, Harris back outside. Delaney pulls up, shoots the 3-pointer, no good. Underneath, the shot's put up and good by Harris. Inbound to Whittingham, he's quickly fouled. 48 seconds to go. That cuts the lead back to 4, 87-83. Jason Whittingham. 10 fouls on Weber. They now have 4 starters with 4 fouls each, Dick. As they go down, they don't have anybody left that can foul that's in the ball game other than Delaney.
Well, at this point, 2 of them, it does not matter with 48 seconds to play. They're going to have to continue to foul.
Lions lead by 4. Whittingham will shoot 2. First one is off the front of the rim, no good.
Jason just lost his confidence in his free throw shooting lately. He just you can almost sense he just doesn't have any confidence in what he's shooting.
Shot very well early in the season, but a struggle of late. But he makes the second one, and it's 88-83. 48 seconds to go. Inbound basketball quickly up the court. There's President. He's going to pull up, shoot the 3 from long range. No good. Bowie with the defensive rebound. Sam Bowie triple team, gets it off to Green. Green hustles it up the court. The Lions will try to pull it out. So Whittingham on the baseline, but the foul was out front to Troy Green. 33 seconds to go, 5-point lead. Troy Green.
Can't say enough about Sam and the amount of defensive rebounds he's gotten down there in this last few minutes of play. Come up with some real big ones.
He's been very strong on the boards in the second half on the defensive end of the court. Jamel President fouled out. He's got 11 points in the ball game.
You know, I keep saying this, but Sam, you think that Sam is an offensive player, but he's a great defensive player. He's a great rebounder, great team player.
Troy Green can just about put this one away. Well, nothing's put away with 33 seconds, but he can really make it comfortable, but he doesn't. Misses the first one.
You notice he backed off right after he shot it there. He didn't look relaxed on that one. He just shot it up there.
He could be hurting a little bit, too. I'm not trying to make excuses for him. He makes the second one. The freshman hits a big free throw, and it's 89-83.
You got to have 2 3-pointers here.
One thing the Lions don't want to do is foul and stop the clock here. That's Johnson. He drives up. Harris, top of the key, puts an off-balance three-pointer up. No good. Rebounded by Troy Green. Green double-teamed in the background. They got to call a foul. He's going to get another shot.
I believe the Lions have it now with 19 seconds to play. The fans are showing their appreciation with a standing ovation.
And they deserve it. The Lions have played a great ball game tonight.
If Coach Lyles doesn't smile after this ball game, he'll never smile again.
Might be your nicest interview of the season. You've had mostly winners to do it, but I know this will be a good one.
This is the biggest win in John Lyles' career and one of the biggest wins in Southeastern's history.
It came to a crucial point. The Lions have finally got to the point where they've had some crucial games. We talked about this earlier, Dick. They finally got to some points where they had some crucial games and have won them. In the past, they've got to a certain stage, had that crucial game, and haven't been able to turn it over. This year, they've had about 3 different occasions where you had what you might call a real critical game, and they've been able to convert them. Tonight was another one of them.
Well, it's a real tribute to John Lyles and his coaching ability. He's done an outstanding coaching job tonight.
He's had his ball club ready to play. They've done the job offensively and defensively. They got over the opening minute jitters and have outplayed the Cougars the rest of the way.
They've got a 3-possession game again here now. That should put it away for them.
And Green makes them blow. Preston steps up to the line, sinks through, just about clinches the ball game. 91-83.
You don't want to foul now. No foul.
Baseline, that's Harris. He puts the shot up, partially blocked, rebounded, and he steps out of bounds. I want to mention one thing about Troy Green. I said, Dick, you know, he's come through in the second half of the Lions. One thing I noticed about him last year, he averaged about 20, 25 points during the regular season. When the White Castle got to the playoffs, he averaged about 40-something points, and that really showed me that he could step it up another notch.
Yeah.
And they foul on the inbound pass. The Lions have sought this one away. 6 seconds to go. Southeastern has pulled the biggest win of the season off here tonight at the University Center.
Yeah, the hair on the back of my neck standing up. I'm so proud of this team. I just can't say enough good things about the game they played tonight and the job that Coach Lyles did in coaching them. Everyone's contributed too.
All five starters hitting double figures. Avery Anderson came off the bench with a tremendous first half when the Lions needed it. Rico hits his 92-83.
You look at those players out there and Avery on the bench and you think all of them had one of their best games of the year, every one of them.
Clock's going to count down. The fans will count it down. McCravey puts up a three-pointer. No good. Lions rebound and win the ball game. 93-83. Southeastern advances to 15-10 on the season. Charleston 22-3. And Dick, they clinch at least a share of the Western Division lead, at least a tie for the top seed in the conference tournament. Friday, Saturday night, of course, against Campbell, could wrap it up.
Well, we've said it all, I guess, but I want to say it again. Southeastern deserves all the credit they get for winning this ball game and deserves to be the #1 seed. But we still got to prove it again against Campbell on Saturday night, because if we lose that ball game, we end up in a tie with Campbell. And with them having beaten us, I kind of think they would probably end up getting the #1 seed. So we still got another one to play, but it's sure nice having this one under our belt. Big game.
And we'll run down the point totals in the ball game before you get a chance to interview. I know it will be a happy one for you, an interview with Coach John Lyles. For Charleston, which had 83 points, Dash Delaney had 18 points. Jermel President had 11. Stacey Harris had 19. Cedric Weber had 17. Anthony Johnson had 10. Himes had 2, and Connor had 6. All 5 starters for the Cougars hitting double figures, but all 5 starters for the Lions also hitting double figures, as Rico Grant hit 12, Glenn Charles 2. Avery Anderson, as we just pointed out a second ago, came off the bench with a tremendous first half, finished up with 8 points in the ball game. Troy Green with 21, Sam Bowie with 21, Jason Whittingham 15, Jason Kay with 2, and Noble Evans with maybe his best all-around game of the season with 10. Final score, 93-83, and Dick Sharp and John Lyles discussed the game.
I'm Dick Sharp, standing here with the coach of the Western Division Conference champions. At least co-champions.
At least co-champions. We are champions as we stand here, and we don't want to share it, and so we'll have to beat Campbell on Saturday night in order to keep them having to share our title. But if we can win one more in the jungle, we're the champs of the West by ourselves, and that's where we want to be.
Well, you certainly deserve to be tonight, Coach. I've never seen your team look better. Every man contributed. The intensity was there. You did an outstanding job on the sidelines. The whole package was there tonight, Coach. I know you got to be happy with your team's performance.
We were very happy. We've been saying for a while now that we haven't put together a complete game. We haven't been healthy for the last 3 or 4 games, and Troy Green's healthiness allowed us to put a lot more defensive pressure than we've been putting the last couple of games. And it was a total team effort. We played well. College of Charleston played well. They hit some big shots. They shot a good percentage. They didn't have a bad night. We just won the game, and it was an exciting game. Great crowd in the jungle, big time crowd, and of course we'll need a big time crowd Saturday night for the home finale.
Well, it was apparent to me that all your players contributed tonight, but I was particularly pleased with the performance of both Noble Evans and Avery Anderson, who came in and both of them played their best ball games of the year, I thought.
Well, they made a mistake. They didn't make the mistake. They used the strategy of backing off Noble and allowing him that 15-footer. And the thing about Noble, even though he hadn't taken that many for us this year because he's a freshman playing a role, he can stroke that shot. And you got to guard him. He can shoot it. And he stepped up there and stroked them big time, and it didn't surprise me or his teammates a bit. It put them in a bind because they had Thad Delaney on him, and their plan was to let Thad rest a little bit and clog up the lane. And when Noble hit a few, it sort of confused them a little bit, and it was big.
I thought another big factor tonight, Coach, was your free throw shooting down the stretch. We've said all year long that could be important as the season went on, and it looked like tonight your fellas really came through in the clutch on those free throws.
Well, the strange thing about that, Dick, is the guys who have not shot free throws that well this year are good shooters. It's been more mental than physical. Jason Whittingham, everyone knows, can shoot. Noble Evans has a beautiful shot, can shoot. So I think it was more of those guys just hitting a couple and having some confidence than their technique or their ability. All these kids, one thing about our recruiting process is we recruit shooters, and these guys can all shoot, and they stepped up there and hit them.
Well, I would think that anybody that saw this ball game on tonight, if a recruit was watching this ball game tonight and saw this crowd, saw the type of basketball this team plays, it would help you in your recruiting efforts.
Well, I would think so. I think one of the reasons we were able to sign all these players we have now is because they watched us play and saw our style of play. And they like our style of play, and they like the university, of course. But the style of play attracts them. They like to play up tempo and pressing and aggressive, and they don't like to play the slow down ball that some of these teams play. And when it gets down the bottom line, the recruiting process, it helps you out.
Well, it's obvious that the fans like it too, Coach, because they're coming out in increasing numbers, and hopefully they'll continue to. Let's talk just a little bit about your last big ball game on Saturday night. Can you tell us anything about Campbell?
Dick, I don't know anything about Campbell yet. I've got films on them. I've got stats on them. I'm going to break into Campbell later on tonight and start getting ready for Campbell. I'm sort of a tunnel vision guy, and I take them one at a time. And Campbell, so far, I don't know anything about him. I remember playing them last year and the way they play. They gave us trouble last year, but we're a little different team this year. And it's going to be a tough ball game at our home finale. Jason Whittingham and Sam Bowie's last night in the jungle. And huge game because we just don't want to share our championship. We want to be the outright West champs.
Well, we'll be here pulling you, helping try to pull you through anyway, Coach, and we congratulate you again. You got a great victory behind you and a great season behind you no matter what happens, and we look forward to a big game Saturday night.
Thank you, Dick.
Enjoyed being with you.
Okay, thank you.
We say
Tonight's game being brought to you in part by Dixie Mazda, Nissan Lincoln Mercury of Hammond, Louisiana. Now, the #1 new car sales leader in Hammond. At Dixie, our customers have purchased over 100 cars each month for the last 10 months. With over $3 million in RV inventory and over $2 million in used and program car inventory, Dixie Motors has an exceptional array of vehicles for you to choose from to meet your needs. Remember, Dixie Mazda Nissan Lincoln Mercury is still the home of no rigmarole. Drop in soon at Dixie Motors in Hammond, Louisiana, at the corner of North Morrison Boulevard and Church Street. Part of today's television broadcast of SLU basketball is being brought to you by the law firm of Cash, Lewis, Moody, and Cadrain. Attorneys Rodney Cash, Alton Lewis, Chris Moody, and Andre Cadrain, with offices at 106 South Magnolia Street in Hammond, Louisiana. 542-6848. 542-6848. Southeastern Boosters.
Want to put a different spin on dining out? Try the Khaki Cabana, located on Columbus Drive in Hammond.
The Khaki Cabana offers a unique atmosphere designed for the comfort of our customers.
Add to that a menu designed to please everyone.
The Khaki Cabana will make your dining experience a tropical delight.
That's the Khaki Cabana, where you'll always find good food
and great fun.
And so I have an idea about how to build systems that serve millions of people. The difference, but you might say, well, anybody that builds a piece of client software for a PC serves millions of people. But they don't do it simultaneously with a service and with a client-server type background. So you have to have an operations background. You have to have a lot of communications experience. You have to have ability to do the large customer service operations. And certainly, last but not least, we're going to have an extremely large rating operation. We already do. And we're not going to be rating 10,000 sites or 50,000 sites. We're going to rate 1 million sites or more. And that's because of our inclusive approach as opposed to an exclusive approach. We don't censor the net. We go out and look at each site and rate it according to certain categories. And then we let the parent choose what their child can see. So we don't say that such and such a site is objectionable. We simply say that particular site has this level of obscenity or this level of nudity or this level of sexual content.
Well, the counter-argument to what you're doing there, which is admirable, is that you're providing people who are looking for this kind of thing an access list.
No, not really. What we provide, actually, is a directory for the kids to use so they won't get frustrated. So once their parent sets up their profile, we give the kid a directory, and that directory is personalized, and the only thing that shows up in their directory is the sites that they can see, not the sites they can't see. So we don't provide a directory of the things that are bad.
No, but isn't the rating process that you're going through, you said there's this much nudity, and it's the parent who is supposed to then say, well, my kid can see, this, but can't see that for one reason or another. So the parent makes a choice, right? Is that the way it works?
That's right. The parent makes a choice about the level of nudity, say, or the level of obscenity that they think is appropriate for a specific child in their family.
And then the software doesn't, list every... In other words, the parent can't do spot site censorship. The computer takes care of all that for them?
That's right.
Ah.
The parent could.
So there's no master list?
Well, there exists one on our server. I mean, the master list does exist on our server. And from a practical standpoint, because a webmaster might be trying to find out what the rating is for their specific site, they can type in a site, and we'll give them back the rating, because we want the people who are running the sites to be able to manage and object, or,
Yeah, no, the criticism that's been out there is that people who are doing this, they end up with a site list of objectionable sites, and people just use that list to go web surfing. I mean, for example, if I was an editor at, for example, Penthouse, and I could get a hold of a site list from a company that's trying to keep kids off the internet, and it showed all the sites that were really filthy, I could then use that list to, to send one of my writers over to review these sites, for my readers, who may or may not be interested in such a thing. Is this a doable situation with your software? Do you prevent that from happening?
No, see, that's because that comes from the exclusive approach. The first thing that those kind of people had to do that did exclusive was go out and get a list of all the bad sites. We haven't even rated Penthouse, and we may never get to it because our constituency is kids. Why would we rate Penthouse?
Right.
So we haven't rated Penthouse. If I'm not going to say Sesame Street's got a site. I don't know that for a fact. But if they had one, we'd get right in there and rate that.
Let's face it, they probably do.
Yep. And so we rate the kids' sites, and that's our #1 priority.
Okay.
And later, as we move into a corporate product, we'll be interested in business sites, but we're never going to get to... I'm not saying that we won't put entries in for Penthouse. I'm not going to say that. But it's just not on our priority list because our constituency doesn't need to see it.
So in other words, when my kid gets on the net via your software, it's not even going to show. I mean, he can't get on the Penthouse. He can't type in the access, www, whatever, penthouse.com or whatever the heck it is.
Type it in, but he's not going to get there. He's going to get a little message that says, sorry, that's not a safe site, a trademark of ours.
Okay. Well, that sounds like it sounds like an admirable thing you're doing and a formidable task.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say that you were sort of implying, and certainly on day one of our business plan, we thought, and the people funding us asked, gee, what's the barrier to entry? The question they always want to know here, can't just anybody do this? Well, with any luck here, by the end of the year, we'll have 1 million sites rated. And the answer is no. It takes a lot of money and time and technology to rate and index and allow potentially millions of users to go against that list. It's a lot of technology. We've also chosen to make our system as invisible in the PC and the Mac as possible, and that's turned out to be a very difficult and daunting task. So, all the technology that's there is meant for the long run, and it's a very daunting task and requires millions of dollars to get it done.
Now, let's go back to the technology itself. I have another question, which is, let's say, you have your OK list, basically, is what the kids can work with, right?
Right.
What happens when a new site like Scholastic, comes up with, say, a new site? It's brand new, it's not on your list yet. It's a positive thing, and the kid has given the assignment to go home and go on this new site to get something for some homework, and he comes on your system, and since it's not already approved, types in the address and says, I'm sorry, this is no good, and it's pretty much thrown in the same pile as Penthouse.
We have a panel on our client, a workstation, that the parent then pulls up and types that in as an override.
Oh, okay.
And that's going to happen. The teacher's probably going to put their own web page down there, and long before we see it, their parent is going to have to approve that for them.
We're talking to Woodson Hobbs. He's the founder and CEO of NewView Incorporated, a company that has some pretty elaborate technology to control Internet access in a positive way. They're in Redwood City, California. Woodson, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
People who use the Internet and online services and actually phone or cable or whatever, they're always looking for more speed and access to all kinds of different things. And there's a lot of different solutions out there being promised, and there's a lot of solutions available. Some people can get ISDN, some people can't. There's things called ATM and cable modems. There's a slew of things, a slew of technologies. So one of the most interesting ones, and one of the ones being talked up quite a bit currently, is something called ADSL. To discuss it, we've got Garrett Case. He's with the developers AT&T Paradigm in Largo, Florida. He's on the line. Garrett, welcome to Software Hard Talk.
Thanks, John.
I got a press thing here from you guys about GlobeSpan, and when I read this stuff, because I see these kinds of technologies pass by my desk constantly, and it's not cable modems or promises of ATM or one thing or another, none of which I can seem to get in my house. There's just a lot of these that come out, and yours is a new one. I haven't heard of this one, which is called the Asymmetrical Digital Subscriber Line, which
another
is
one of those acronyms.
Another technology that, from my perspective, never ever gets to the consumer. What's the situation with this one?
Well, actually,
and let's discuss why this one is different.
Well, it is definitely different, and this is one of those technologies that most definitely will reach the consumer. In fact, Bell Atlantic is already conducting trials. They're probably into their second or third trial up in Northern Virginia area using ADSL, and those trials have gone over very, very well received by the subscribers.
Well, let's see. What exactly is ADSL?
ADSL is asymmetrical digital subscriber line.
Okay. Now, how's that different from, let's say, ISDN, which I can get?
Well, there's differences in the bandwidth capability in the line, the speeds, and things like that. ISDN is 128 kilobits per second, whereas ADSL right now, what's available out there is up to 6 megabits per second, and that is asymmetrical. But there is also a
now, what do we mean when we say asymmetrical in this sense?
Means
does that mean I always have access to 6 megabits?
Exactly.
So,
the return channel will not be 6 megabits.
So I have a slow out and a fast in. Is that the deal?
You have a very fast in and a slow out. So going out, it'll be about 640K. Not that that's slow.
No, that's not bad.
That's not slow. The standard was 16. The standard is 16. We've gone up from 64 to 640. And the significance on ADSL of ADSL is that even though it's one directional at that very fast speed, it's ideal at 6 megabits to do live broadcast video of a sporting event, a Yankees baseball game. If you were a Yankees fan and you lived in California or down under in Australia, or just getting video off the internet. There are online service providers who want to create their own programming to compete with whoever else is out there doing programming. And for them, they can use ADSL. The only way they can do that is with ADSL. ADSL, the significance of it is that it's something that can be used right now to provide multimedia telephone communications to basically almost anyone in the world with a copper phone line coming into their house.
Theoretically, but there's no switches available at the moment.
Well, it's not that all they have to do to implement this is put a card, an ADSL card, in the central office. So it's not very costly to implement.
Is it cheaper? Let's back off and look at these other technologies that keep being bandied about. One of them is a thing called ATM, asynchronous transfer mode, I believe it's.
Right.
Which is a high-speed digital system that requires an expensive switch. In fact, ISDN does too, from what I can tell, and that's one of the reasons we don't have it in certain parts of the country that are, that need it. If I have like an old, clunky old switch in northern Washington and I want to bypass the ISDN and ATM promises and go to this, would I just slip this card in there somehow? But in an old switch, it probably doesn't even have a card cage. Wouldn't I have to swap out the switch anyway? In other words, it's going to be expensive.
This is KSLU Hammond, 90.9 FM. You're in tune to 90.9 FM, KSLU Hammond. This is Public Radio.
Top service, top parts, top warranties, and always with a smile. That's what you get at Amco Transmission on Market Street in Hammond. With 25 years experience and over 20 million transmission service, AMCO has built the reputation one satisfied customer at a time. What else would you expect from the world's largest chain of transmission specialists? You don't get this big without doing things right.
Here's your warranty, sir. Here at AMCO, our reputation is built on quality service at a fair price.
Hey, Rick, how you doing? Fine. Great. Hey, Dan. Oh, what's that you got? Great. Ooh, well, that looks good. Janine, what kind of pizza is that?
Oh, it's pepperoni, black olive, and artichoke hearts.
That's what I want. I'll have one of those. There's 3 things that make a great restaurant: great food, great service, and great atmosphere. You'll find all 3 at Tommy's Pizza. The oldest insurance agency in Hammond, the Dameron Jones Agency, has been serving this area for almost 50 years with A+ rated companies and excellent service for its many customers. Automobile insurance for blazers, trucks, motorcycles,